What up, what up, what up, YouTube? It's your girl, DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank y'all so much for tuning in once again. So happy Thursday. I hope y'all are doing well. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody watching, everybody who supports the channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new to the channel and you like the content, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also share and like the video as well. That would definitely help the channel. Also, make sure you are hitting that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content or go live. Yeah, and also support the channel via Cash App or Super Chat. The Super Chat and Cash App link is scrolling across your screen. Also support by purchasing merchandise. You can get your Ratchicity t-shirt or a mug or anything to support the channel. That link is in the description as well. So I am back, you guys, with another impromptu live stream. I hope you guys are enjoying these regular live streams. I hope y'all are enjoying it. Listen, so we're gonna talk a little bit about Sha'Carri Richardson, y'all. And of course, you know, the regular schmegular modern chick, you know, boss chick issues that we're having in 2025. We're gonna get to that. But as you guys see by the title, Sha'Carri Richardson arrested for DV. Now, I want to play the news clip of them talking about this. This lady was charged with 4th-degree DV assault on her boyfriend. Honestly, y'all, I had no idea Sha'Carri had a boyfriend. I mean, I didn't know. You know, some people were speculating that, you know, she didn't really go for men, that she went for girls. That's alleged. I had no idea. I didn't know she had a boyfriend. But we find out that she does have one. He is in the same field as she is. They both are athletes. And she's charged with 4th-degree DV assault. I want to play the clip of what she's actually charged for and what happened. And I have a clip of him kind of, you know, defending her in a sense. He's not pressing charges or anything like that. He kind of defends her in all of this. But I want to give my thoughts on it, and I want you guys to chime in on this as well. So make sure you chime in. Make sure you're hitting the like button as you come to the building, y'all. That definitely helps out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the clip for Sha'Carri, and I want you guys to chime in the comments below. Here we go.
Olympic gold medalist and Dallas native Sha'Carri Richardson has been arrested for alleged domestic violence in Washington state. Documents say that she pushed and then threw a pair of headphones at her boyfriend following a heated argument, and that went down at SeaTac International Airport.
New tonight, Dallas native and Olympic gold medalist Sha'Carri Richardson is facing possible legal trouble. Police arrested her Sunday afternoon at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. They say she allegedly assaulted her boyfriend, fellow Olympian Christian Coleman, during an argument. According to the police report, Coleman did not want to participate in the investigation. Richardson was booked into jail and released on Monday.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was just a sucky situation all around. Like, I don't feel as if, like, she should have been arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, people have discussions and emotions and stuff like that. And she has, like, things that she needs to work on for herself, of course. And so do I, so do you, like, everybody. And I'm the type of guy, like, I'm in the business of just, like, extending grace and mercy and love. And I feel as if, like, I don't try to look at obstacles either. Like, I just look at, like, situations like this to just, like, you know, take a step back, analyze yourself mentally, and then just try to see what you can do to be your best self so that you can move forward, so you can just be the type of person and the human that God needs you to be for his kingdom and for his glory. And so that's kind of how I look at the situation. And like, and I hate the narrative too of just like, you know what I'm saying, it's so negative. But like I said, it's just like in the state of Seattle, even talking to the cop or whatever, he was just like, it really was nothing I could do. And just like, I understood. But I mean, like I said, it was just a sucky situation. But
I want to talk about
now before Corey start talking. So, you know, I will say this, and he sounds like a nice guy. He sounds like a nice guy. But I think these types of guys are the ones who get this type of treatment. Let's be honest. These are typically the type of men who end up being in relationships with women who take advantage of them, who try these types of things, because he seems like a nice guy. He doesn't want to press charges because that's his girlfriend. And he doesn't see the big picture, and he's just a nice guy. He doesn't want to retaliate or anything like this. But this is why these types of guys get treated this way. See, a dude who is not going to deal with that and he's going to respond immediately or let you know, hell, don't pull that ish with me. These women don't try those type of men. They know what type of men to try this on. And so, you know, and then the fact that a lot of men who deal with DV, they don't report it. They don't talk about it. They don't want to be a victim. I understand that, but y'all got to understand that this is part of the reason why women get away with this type of behavior. And, you know, and why, when it comes to you, now, if he would have defended himself against her, oh, he would have automatically went to jail. And some people are already still trying to defend her in this situation. But thank goodness there are a lot of people, women included, who are not defending her behavior. They're like, no, keep your hands to yourself. You know, so there's split views on this, but it is a one-sided deal when it comes to women putting their hands on men versus men putting their hands on women. And I always say, keep your goddamn hands to yourself. If you don't want to be hit back, do not hit anybody. Have some discipline and some control within yourself to keep your hands to yourself. And this is unfortunately a big issue when it comes to women. Women like to always talk about domestic violence when it comes to men, but they don't talk about them when they're being aggressive and abusive to the men. Because you think, oh, as a woman, you can't hurt him. Still, that is disrespectful and demeaning to put your hands on somebody, to mush somebody upside the head and push them or do whatever. You wouldn't want nobody to do that to you. So think of how you would feel if a man was manhandling you and pushing you and disrespecting you. You wouldn't like it. So why do women think that it's okay to do that to men? I don't understand it. And it's like you complain about something that you do yourself. And see, some men don't tolerate it, but see, they don't fool with them. Because you know, if he knock your head in between the washer and dryer, you know, if he's gonna quick to respond. You think about putting your hands on those types. You know, I remember this woman said in the video, she was like, yeah, women talk about putting their hands on men, but they don't really do that to a man that are really, you know what I mean, who you know, has a short fuse and don't care about going to jail. You don't fool with them, but you fool with the nice ones who you know gonna defend you, who's not gonna press charges, and you exert that aggressive behavior onto these types of men because you know they're gonna deal with it. But if y'all start pressing charges, start saying, nah, she did this, recording them, oh, they ain't gonna have no recourse. Then they're gonna have to be held accountable. So I think a lot of men play into this thinking, oh, well, you know, whatever, it's gonna be okay. It's not. I bet you eventually they break up because after a certain amount of time, you just can't deal with that. I mean, you can't deal with somebody being abusive, just like a woman can't deal with an abusive man. You think a man is going to sit here and be able to mentally tolerate you putting your hands on him and demeaning him and disrespecting him? Nobody should have to deal with that. Nobody. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Nobody should have to deal with that type of abuse. And I don't know what it's going to take for women to understand this. A lot of women are readily and so quickly ready to put their hands on a man and disrespect them, and they have no self-control. But men's supposed to have all the self-control in the world. A man's supposed to be able to discipline himself and have control and just stand there and take it. No, I don't know who told y'all that. When y'all don't have the self-control and discipline that you require from a man. What y'all think, these are robots? These are human beings too, with feelings and emotions as well. But as a man, you got to compose yourself all the time and let somebody just disrespect you. No, that's stupid. No, that's dumb. And then a lot of these men don't give a damn about the police or being arrested. They're going to knock your goddamn, you hit them, they're going to knock you out. And then they're going to just have to deal with the consequences. But all I would say is record it for your defense. You got to record these women. You got to have the evidence and the proof because, you know, the powers that be are not on your side. So you have to make sure that you are protecting yourself, so that when it all goes down, it shows she assaulted you first and you just defended yourself. Because otherwise you'll be in jail. She gonna make up a lie. She gonna cry, be the victim, and she go on to write books and do everything she want to do as the victim while you ride in jail over something that you didn't cause. Y'all gotta be a little bit more smarter. That's all I'm saying. But a lot of these men, this is part of the reason why a lot of men are opting out from dealing with women, period. Because they're like, we just rather leave y'all alone. Because we don't have time to be dealing with all this and playing these games. So we just going to leave y'all alone. That's part of the reason why they're walking away too. Let's continue.
Sha'Carri Richardson. But are you aware of what Sha'Carri Richardson did? So this woman was in the airport with her boyfriend, who was also a track and field star. They got into a disagreement. She tried to get him arrested in the airport. And the only reason she didn't get him arrested, because when you're in the airport, everything's under surveillance.
Right.
So when the police looked at what happened, they arrested her.
Exactly.
Where you try and get the male that's with you in trouble with the authorities because you know most of the time you have leverage over the male when you say something's wrong.
Exactly. And that's just what I was saying. She believe all women. You could, as a woman, you could just say, oh, he hit me. Oh my God, he's been abusive for years. And they automatically believe you. So at the airport, when this went down, there were cameras. So they saw what happened. So they automatically went and arrested her. But if there were no cameras, he would be handcuffed and going to jail while she crying and playing the victim. You know, and look, a part of this is a lot of these women, once again, have been coddled and have been able to display all of their anger, their rage, their toxic nature, their trauma. They've been able to just expel and expose their toxic nature, and nobody checks them on it. You see what I'm saying? Nobody checks women on their horrible behavior. They're able to just do what they want to do. And society coddles them and accepts it. And, you know, and everybody's just supposed to accept it because it's okay because it's a woman. And it's left unchecked. No consequences, no pushback, no constructive criticism, no, hey, that's wrong. You know, none of that. And so they're able to just do what they want unchecked. Because and it's become a part of who they are. It's an entitlement. I say it all the time. It's an entitlement. They're entitled to act and be the way they want to be, and everybody's just supposed to support it. But men, on the other hand, there's no room for them to deal with their issues publicly. There's no room for them to have issues, and sometime it comes out. There's no room for them to lash out. There's no room for a man to be human. He has to be on point on every goddamn thing, while women could just be as reckless as possible. And y'all really think that incorporating that with, you know, in a relationship, you think that is going to work? This is why there's an issue when it comes to dating, because women are entitled. There's no room for a man to make a mistake, but there's all the room in the world for women to make mistakes, and they run with it. That means they're not inclined to change, to do better, to level up in that way. And this is why they have all these expectations for a man and don't want any expectations to come from them, because they've been coddled. They've been made to believe that they're perfect and they're the prize and they don't need to make any adjustments or changes, and they can just be and do whatever they want, and society is going to back them up while continuously pushing the idea that the men are all the problem. That is a big mistake that they've made. And this is why women are dealing with the consequences of it now. Now, am I saying that all women are this way? No, I don't think every woman is this way, for sure. Do I think all men are got it all together? No, I think there are women and men who need to work on themselves, who have toxic behavior, who hasn't dealt with their issues, and they're lashing out in relationships. I think there's women and men who need to work on themselves. But we got to stop just solely pointing at the men. Men have issues, women have issues too. But a lot of these women are operating from a standpoint of that, oh, everything is the man problem. Oh, we over here perfect. We got jobs, so we're perfect. No, y'all ain't, nobody's perfect. Y'all far from perfect. You could look at the way a woman's talk and you could tell, oh, she got issues. The unrealistic expectations that they're putting out here shows you that there is something wrong with them mentally, that they're not all the way there, but they don't see it as such because society has made them believe that this is what they should be and this is how they should act, and they don't see anything wrong with it. And then they're surprised why men are walking away, why men are saying, nah, we don't want to deal with these crazy ass women. We just don't want to do it. We're going to focus on ourselves. We're going to work on ourselves. We're going to work on our finances. We're going to build ourselves up, and we're going to stay away from these toxic women, because if we do have some toxic issues, we don't want to go deal with the woman who has toxic issues. And then on top of that, she's unaccountable and don't see her toxic ways. That's going to push you back. That's not going to help you to grow. That's going to make you worse. And if you're trying to level up as a man and you're trying to better yourself, you don't need to deal with toxic women who don't see themselves. You don't need to deal with somebody who's going to project their issues onto you while you're trying to better yourself. So you don't need that. You need positive people, nurturing people in your life. You don't need toxic anybody in your life when you're trying to better yourself. That's only going to bring you backwards. So a lot of men are choosing themselves because they don't want to go backwards. They're trying to level up. And if you have a woman who's unaccountable, unaware of her nature, and she's exuding her insecurities, toxic behavior, all of that aggressiveness onto you, it's going to bring you backwards. It's not going to elevate you. It's not, y'all can't elevate together because she don't see herself. This is why self-accountability, knowing yourself, seeing yourself is so important, because it helps you to start to make changes to your toxic nature. And we all have it. We all have had something toxic nature at some point. But the key to the differences between people who have worked, there are differences between the people who have worked on their issues and better themselves and their behavior versus people who are unaccountable and don't see themselves and they're not working to change that behavior. There's a difference because you operate in a different way. So this is why these types of people, you see them coming. Because if you know you've been toxic or you've had some issues you had to work on and you've worked on them, you recognize that behavior and you want no parts of it because you know it's not going to benefit you to be better. It's going to hinder you and bring you backwards. Let's continue.
I don't like people who do that in this society.
Did y'all see that situation with Christian Coleman and Sha'Carri Richardson? So I guess they was in somebody's airport and Sha'Carri Richardson was acting a plum fool. Child, so she ended up getting arrested on DV charges and Christian Coleman came out basically just like, oh, she's a good person. Oh, she's a human being. She didn't deserve to get arrested, this, that, and the fourth. So I'm reading through the comments because I'm like, what even happened? Like, what made her put her hands on him or whatever? So somebody was like, he cheated. And somebody was like, basically he deserved it because he cheated. Since when do grown people put their hands on each other because the other person cheated? What happens to when you find out, you act like an adult and walk off? Why would you cause ruckus in the airport? Do y'all not be seeing these cases that be going on in these airports? You can get banned. You can get arrested just, for the disturbing the peace. It's too much going on in the airport. First of all, for the people who have plane anxiety, is too much going on. My heart already beating fast, and now you telling me that y'all over here fighting, and I think it's just a Final Destination stuff. I'm about to change my flight. But it's very weird how some of y'all would support a woman putting their hands on a man, but then when the man do it to a woman, oh no,
right?
Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy to me, the things that people support from one person or one gender and not the other. Right. Keep your motherfucking hands to your motherfucking self.
Facts.
Period. Because if he would have turned around and accidentally hit her in the face after getting hit on.
Right. That's what it would have been. Exactly. I say it all the time. Keep your hands to yourself. Which I say equal rights means equal lefts. But it's an issue. This is why I say there's an issue with self-control in a lot of women. And once again, it's gone unchecked because most of society caters to women because women spend money. You don't want to upset the bonnet crew because they buy bonnets. You know what I'm saying? They're the biggest consumers. So they buy bonnets, they buy everything that you're selling. So we don't want to mess with them. We want to make them feel emboldened and empowered. We want to make them feel like they're the greatest thing ever so they can keep feeling good and spending all their money because it's making us richer and richer and richer. We don't want to upset the bonnet crew because they might stop spending. So let's cater to these women. You don't want to cater to men because men ain't going to spend all their money. Men are a little bit wiser for the most part when it comes to finances. They're not jumping to spend money on every little thing that come out. Men don't buy makeup. Men don't buy wigs. They're not buying all this expensive stuff on a regular. They're a little bit more budget friendly when it comes to how they spend their money. So we don't want to cater to the men because the men don't spend money like women do. So we need the women. This is why it's more beneficial and more lucrative, even on this app right here, to cater to women. Because why? Women buy into what you're selling. Men don't do it as much. If I was bashing men, my channel would be a lot larger and I would make more money. And that's just facts. Because we already know that women gonna spend 10 times more. Anything I'm selling, they gonna buy into it. If they like you, if they like what you're saying, if they like the message, they're gonna support. Now, I will give them that. They're gonna support something that they like, and they like bashing men. So if you bash men, they gonna support. You're gonna see the money rake in. They're gonna support what they like in high numbers. Because that's just, they like to spend. Men, on the other hand, y'all don't spend as much. Y'all more, preserving your money. You're not out here just spending it willy-nilly, which means when it comes to even this platform and doing this, we not raking in all that money like that, because men, and it's not a diss to y'all or anything, but men don't spend money the way women do. This is why women are the biggest consumers. They support the things that they like. Even if you lying to them, even if you selling them a dream, they spend thousands of dollars on courses. If a single mother, independent boss chick, who's never had a solid, stable relationship or marriage, but she's telling you about relationships. She's a relationship coach. She's telling you how to get a man. She's telling you what you need to do, what you shouldn't be doing, what men are about, and all that. And she don't have a relationship to save her life. But she can come out and tell you everything that you want to hear. And women will spend thousands of dollars on these coaching fees to hear somebody who is ill-equipped to tell you about relationships, tell you everything you want to hear, and she rack it up and she become a millionaire quick. Because they buy into the lies. They buy into lies. If any person on social media wanted to win big financially, just tell women what they want to hear. It's so easy. You could just come out of nowhere and just bash men all day, and you're going to get a whole bunch of subscribers. You're going to get a whole bunch of women supporting your cause because they want to hear that. If you tell them, girl, a man is supposed to cater to you and he's supposed, shit, it's going to blow up. Because you're feeding their ego. You're feeding the lies that they want to believe. You're feeding them the BS that makes them thrive and make them feel secure about themselves. You're feeding to the delusional aspect that they have in their heads, because that makes them feel good. That makes them keep going. That makes them thrive. But the minute you give them some logic, you give them something that makes sense and requires them to be accountable, all hell break loose. Oh, you a pick me. Oh my God. Shout, we don't want to hear nothing. You don't, but the truth is the truth. No matter how you try to ignore it, the truth is still going to be the truth. And your life is going to be a reflection of it. So at some point, you're going to have to acknowledge that what was being said is directly affecting your life, and that you're going to still have to ultimately make some changes, or just continue down the path that you're going. And if that's not where you want to be, and that's not happy, you're not happy with that, then ultimately you still gonna have to make some changes. And if you don't, you get what you get. It's not hatred, it's not bashing, it's just being honest, because a lot of women have been lied to by men and other women. You've been pandered to for so long, and they've been coddling you for too long and lying to you for so long, to now the truth seems like a lie to you. And you can't accept it. But I don't believe that lying to people is helping them. I don't think that helps you to do better. You need to understand yourself and understand the truth in order to do better. So yeah, it's always more lucrative to lie to women. And this is what society has been doing for years. You fat, big, old, overweight, obese women. Oh, you don't tell them they fat and obese and that this could kill you. Oh, people are body shaming you. Oh my God. They hate fat people. No. We see, anybody with eyes can see that is an unhealthy nature, and that's going to cause you problems. And if you don't want those problems, do something about it now. But you can't say that, oh my God, you're fat phobic. Oh, just coddle them until they eventually, maybe one day, get it right. No, that's not healthy, and that's not a good way to go about trying to help people for real. A lot of these people are not trying to help. They're trying to lie to you, coddle you, and get some coins from you. And that's just it. They're not trying to, help you get to a better place. They just want to make you feel comfortable where you are. And a lot of these women fall for it. This is why you can have people like the brick lady come out and lie. And then all these women go, hurry up and donate to this lady. All you got to do is coddle women, lie to them, and then make up a story that's sympathetic to them, and you can get rich. You can hit the lotto big time. They're being raised $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for you with the quickness off of a lie. Because this is what women want to believe. When you want to believe a lie, it's easier to sell it to you. I guarantee you, if I came on this platform saying men ain't ish, all these niggas want to do is this, and women need to stop dealing with them. Child. But baby, I have buku subscribers. I would have, it would be more. And then to sell a course, child, yeah. I would have made a lot. But, I see people do it all the time. And it doesn't matter if you're exposed, if it doesn't matter that you realize what they're saying is a lie, and they don't even live up to the life that they're trying to sell to you. It doesn't matter, because once you've presented that and you've put it out there, they've already eaten it up. They've licked the bowl and they swallowed hard, because they want to believe that. And no matter what the truth really is about that, or the person that's selling it to you, it's too late. Once they've made their mark and they've gotten out here and they've sold it to you, you swallowed it whole. You really believe that because that's what you want to believe. And this is why people do it over and over and over. You could sell a person a lie 1,000 times over if it's something that they want to hear, and if it's something that they're trying to convince themselves to believe. But the truth, nobody wants to hear it. Hannibal, thank you so much for the super chat. Says men don't spend as much as women do because we got a woman who's spending our money. That woman is then buying Princella super chats because her money is her money, baby. That's crazy. Thank you for the super chat, Hannibal. I appreciate you. Child, yeah, it is what it is, though. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, so it's just it's the reality and the nature of where we are, and I accept what it is, but I also accept that is not a practice that's going to really actually help you if you're really looking for help. If you're really looking for help, you have to be accountable for your actions. You can't keep on blaming it on everybody else and thinking that you're perfect. No, it's never going to work. When you go to Alcoholic Anonymous or whatever it is, AAA, what do they make you do? As soon as you go in there, they give you a chance. You have to first admit that you have a problem, and they'll let you sit there and come in week after week. But at some point, you have to say, hi, I'm Tory Lanez, and I have a problem. I am an alcoholic. I'm just saying, that's the first name that came to my mind. Shout out to Tory Lanez. Please free Tory Lanez. But yeah, you have to raise your hand, and you have to first admit that you have a problem. You got to admit that you have a problem. And then once you admit that you have a problem, now you're no longer in denial. You've been accountable for the fact that you now know that you have a problem. Now you can work on it better. But as long as you're in denial, say, oh, no, I have drinks for breakfast. I only had 6 drinks for breakfast. That's it. I don't think I'm an alcoholic. Then you're not going to work on it because you don't see that there's a problem. So you first have to admit it. And if you don't want to do that, you're going to continue to struggle. Lorenzo says at DeeDee, well, you and Crimson collab. I mean, you got to go ask Crimson. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got it. That's something. I mean, it just don't happen. You know what I'm saying? I would love to do a collab with Crimson. So yeah, that would be cool. I've been wanting to do a collab with Crimson Cure. I think that would be great. Maybe maybe I'll reach out. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button, you guys. We got 125 people in here and 67 likes. So go ahead, hit the like button. Hit the like button, you guys. All right, so we're gonna move on from the Sha'Carri Richardson thing. So this woman, yeah, I mean, this is crazy. I just think women need to do better. You got to do better. Stop putting your hands on people, and men need to report it. If a woman, it's not, it doesn't make you look bad if you report something like this. It means you're holding these women accountable. Stop thinking that it makes you look bad or you're the victim. Maybe you are a victim, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you know as a man that if a woman, you know, is hitting on you, you could actually defend yourself in a physical way, but you don't want to do that because you know that would hurt her. So instead of responding in that way, respond in a way that you can by reporting the incident, pressing charges on them, make them understand that they just can't get away with doing this. Because as long as y'all just sit back and let it happen in the name of you don't want to be a victim, they're going to keep doing it. If there's no consequences, they're going to keep doing it. So that there needs to be consequences when it comes to women who act this way. Y'all just can't, y'all play a major part in it when you're silent. You know, so you have to speak out. You have to say something. Hyenas Anonymous. All right, y'all, we're gonna move on. So I want to bring your attention to this clip that I just recently saw of this older lady, which points to the part of the topic where older women are not good examples for young women. And I'm going to show you why, and also talk about why the younger women don't have older role models or older women to look up to, because they're just as bad as the younger women. Check this out.
Take that nasty ass vest off.
Man, I don't care. It's work.
Punk ass nigga.
I don't care. It's work. You done?
Take that vest off.
You
Use
done?
some tide and watch that motherfucker. You nasty nigga.
Done? Wipe around your mouth.
You nasty nigga. You wipe it. Make me.
I don't want to.
Make me. Yeah.
You done?
Cause I put my finger and my pictures in your face.
Is you done?
Bitch ass boy.
done?
Now I'm finished.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Make me go.
You want somebody to do something to you?
I don't want nobody to do nothing to me,
make-
baby. Your mama gonna be crying about
No,
you.
your folk gonna be
pedophile.
crying about you.
Bitch, nigga, my mama dead.
I said Joe folk.
The fuck you
I
mean?
ain't say nothing about your mom.
Don't you never in your life.
Don't some miss me.
Now what you gonna do about that?
Don't some miss me. I swear to God, like.
Yeah, do something with your bad ass. That's what I thought. Give me my pictures. Okay, well call the manager then. Call the manager then.
Don't go back that way.
Yeah. You telling him he ain't watching my mom just died February talking about your mom. I don't play no games where I'm from.
That man ain't say nothing about her mama. He said your people. She talked about his mom. Baby. This man-looking woman is all in this. You know, this is why it's when you see the elders like this, looking like this, talking to this young man like this at his job, no respect whatsoever, and then ready to play the victim. Oh my God, if you talk about victim mode, it's the women who ready to jump to be the victim. No matter how old you are, no matter how bad you look, you ready to be the victim. That man didn't say nothing about your mom. He said your people. And she throwing shit at the man and everything. I'm like, girl, you got the right one. Because you lucky that this guy held his composure. This is what I'm saying. Men have to hold their composure, because if he was to break loose, I'm pretty sure her ass would be on the ground. I'm just saying, like, you doing too much. And they be standing here thinking that they're men. Just standing up big and like you're gonna whip his ass. You know what I'm saying? And don't realize that I believe that man would have knocked her ass on her ass. But you feel entitled and emboldened to get up in his face and throw, like, what? Because you know he have to hold his composure. You know if he knocked the shit out of you, he gonna lose his job and probably go to jail. But she can sit there and disrespect him all day, throw shit at him, all of that, and nobody does a thing. She didn't get arrested for throwing something at him. She could do all that and nothing happens. But if he threw that water bottle at her, oh my God, they might handcuff him and take him out of there. So he has to be calm. He can't react the way he would want to, because he knows he will lose everything. But this is why they do that. But if you throw something at somebody, they should have ran out there, because I'm sure there's cameras in there watching, and ran out there and tackled her ass and took her up out of there. She would be shocked, like, what? What'd I do? You know?
You don't play mama games.
Your folk gonna be crying.
No, they ain't gonna be crying, nigga. You gonna be crying because you don't even know who the fuck I am. What the fuck? And I don't give a fuck about you.
And look, I just, oh Lord have mercy, just Jesus take the wheel, because this is the problem, in my opinion. They and you don't matter how old and stupid you look, you could just be disrespectful, mad at this man. He ain't doing nothing. I mean, she just mad at the world, just don't know what to do with herself, and just took it out on this man. And these, you can see this are older. So you older women don't have control. You don't know how to act. You don't have no discipline. You talk to people crazy. You think the world owes you something, and people supposed to sit back and just tolerate this? No, everybody's not going to tolerate that behavior. Y'all going to walk up on the right one, and you going to get what's coming to you. Y'all got to stop doing this. And so when you see older women like this acting this way, there's no hope for the younger women. This is the examples that they have. These are the examples that they have out here in society. Women who are very disrespectful, aggressive, loud, and just wrong, and just angry and mad with the world because nobody want to deal with them. If she acting like this with this stranger, how does she act with the people in her family? I bet the people in her family want to have shit to do with her. Why are you acting this way with somebody that you don't even know? You know what I mean? It's just this combative nature that a lot of these women have. And like I said, it's been, nobody's checked them on it. This is why you got old women like this acting this way, and then the younger ones are following suit. There's just no kind of control whatsoever. As soon as somebody says something that you don't agree with, you going off. It's bad. It's a bad trait. It really is. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look whatsoever. And they don't see anything wrong with it. But nobody's going to sit back and tolerate that. That's why people would rather just ignore you, move on, don't deal with you, because it's just too much. And nobody don't want to go to jail. People got lives to live, and they got bills to pay. Nobody don't want to risk their livelihood for your foolishness. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I think that guy held his composure, because he knows if he bat the shit out of her, he going to jail and he going to lose his job. He can't do that. He's on the job. And this is why people test you on your job, because they don't think that you're going to respond, give them what they're looking for. And when you don't give them what they look for, by the way, they get even angrier. So she kept tempting this dude, kept talking to him, kept doing things to agitate him. And she didn't get what she wanted. She wanted him to go off on her so that he'll lose his job. And then, she'll feel vindicated and she could continue to play victim. Oh my God, all that time you just sit there cussing this man out, talking to him crazy. And he didn't do anything. She wanted him to jump over that counter and attack her so she could play victim and go on social media and act like the victim. Meanwhile, you're antagonizing him for all that time. And he stood there, not because he couldn't do it, not because he wasn't capable of doing anything. He had to compose himself to not, and force himself not to react. And that takes more strength and maturity than these people going off. People gonna always try to antagonize you because that's their go-to, try to get you off your game. But it takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of maturity to ignore that type of behavior, ignore the antagonizer. So shout out to him for keeping his composure and not letting this woman get to him in the way that would affect his livelihood. So I respect that, because it takes a lot of strength to be able to do that, because it's so quick to easy. It's easy for somebody to start with you and for you to just let go. It's easy to do that. But to be able to sit there and deal with that, knowing what you're capable of, that takes a lot of maturity and a lot of composure to be able to do that, and strength. So shout out to him for keeping his composure and not letting this evil lady disrupt his life. So yeah, in this case, I'm glad that he didn't just go off on her, because it would have affected him. And she'll have nothing to lose. See, because this don't affect her job or her work or whatever. She just gonna act a fool and do this all day, and nothing really is going to happen to her. That's the problem, in my opinion. So shout out to him for keeping his cool and not letting this old hyena mess with his life, because that's what she is, an old ratchet hyena. Don't have nothing else, to live for, and just taking it all out on this person. Whatever's going on in her life, she took out her anger and animosity on him, and he didn't deserve that. So, this is why I say the older generation of women they're not good role models for the young women. They're telling them the same old stuff that they're hearing. Oh, you need to, all this, the same old talking points that you hear the young women saying, the old women are saying it too. Let's keep it moving, you guys. Listen to this.
Tell you why there's such a struggle right now for the single mother. One, society does not support single motherhood. There used to be this thing like, oh, you're a single mother, let us help you. Nobody cares anymore. But the biggest thing that people don't talk about is fewer and fewer men are willing to be stepdads. One of the biggest family secrets has always been that oldest child does not belong to him. That oldest child does not belong to him. Everybody knows it but the oldest child. And there are fewer and fewer men that are willing to sign up for it. And I do believe it's because of the child support laws. And it just takes a lot of money. So please understand that if you become a single mother, you're probably going to most likely raise that child by yourself for the rest of your life. And the men who create single mothers, they hate their single mother mom. So they really don't give a damn about you. They low-key hate her ass. So they're going to hate you too. The moment you look like, act like, and start talking like her. I keep posting these videos because I hope that I save at least one young lady. Do not have a baby with a man until you have been married to him for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. Because once you become a baby mama, you will probably most likely die a baby mama in today's society. These men are not for it anymore. They're
Right.
not. They're not.
They're not. And I'm glad she pointed that out because sometimes she gives different messages. But I'm glad she pointed that out, that a lot of these men in today's society, they're not going for it. I talk about it all the time. These men don't be the step crash. They're not the step crash dummies of yesteryear. You know, Anton speaks on that, how the step crash dummies. Yeah, they're not. They this is a different group of men. They made it very clear that they don't want to become step crash dummies. They don't want to be stepdads to somebody else's children. They made it very clear, and this is why a lot of women are complaining about it. You know, they don't want to do it, and so that leaves them hanging. That leaves the women, the single mothers, hanging because most men don't want to come in and take care of you and your damn kids, and they shouldn't have to. It's almost like penalizing the man for being responsible and giving the single mothers a reward for being irresponsible. So because you were irresponsible and you made a mistake and you became a single mother doesn't mean that men are obligated to have to take on you and your mistakes and your responsibilities. This is why I think it's important for you to go with the children's father or figure out how to make that work, because most men don't want to do that. And it's unfortunate that you were young and dumb and you put yourself in that position. But nobody else has to be responsible or take up the slack for the choices that you made in life, whether you was young or dumb or not. A lot of these men were young and dumb too, but a lot of them didn't make babies out of wedlock. A lot of them had enough discipline to say, you know what, I don't want to make babies because I'm not ready to be responsible for a baby. I'm not ready to take on that responsibility. That's too much. I'm too young. You know, I'm still working on myself. I got to do this. I got to do that. So while you have a majority of men who think that way, what was the last time I checked, 54% of men were childless, single and childless. They don't have children, but they will swear up and down that this is the majority of black men out here making all these babies. And it's not. It is a small percentage of these men who are making all these women are having the children with, and the majority of the men, they think they're lame and they're they're not attracted to them, because most women are attracted to men who are unproductive, but they're having babies with them, or they've had babies with them, because that's what they're attracted to, the bad boy. Women know this, and you end up having children for these bad boys. And then you end up becoming a statistic because these bad boys aren't ready to be fathers. They're too busy being a bad boy. They're not trying to create a life with you. You just was a good time. And you took it personally and seriously and thought, oh, I want to build a life with him because I'm really attracted to him. Realizing he doesn't have all of the qualities that are needed to build a stable family. He's not ready to do that. But these are the men that these women run behind. They don't have to have 6 figures. They don't have to have all this money. You run behind him because you are attracted to him. That's your type. And you want a life with him, but he's not ready for commitment and he's not looking to be responsible. So you're in a, how they say it? You're in a tricky situation. You're in a trick bag. Because on one hand, that's your type. That's who you want to be with. So you go get a baby with and thinking that's going to grow him up. And he's like, nah, I ain't ready to be nobody's husband. I ain't going to marry you. I ain't going to commit to you. I got other women and other baby mamas. I'm trying to play the field and I'm letting you know. Because I was doing this before you met me. A lot of these women meet these guys who already have baby mamas and they think, oh, they're going to come in and change him. You're going to be the one to change him and make him commit to you. And then when he doesn't, you crashing out and mad and crying because that's who you really want to be with. It's a fact. And they can't dispute it. And once again, this may not be every woman, but a lot of the women who are making these babies with these guys, this is why when you say, oh, you need to go find your baby daddy, ew. Ew. He wasn't ill when you made these children with him. So he was good enough for you to give your body to and give a baby to, but he wasn't good enough for a stable relationship. Why? He's not ill. No, he just don't want that. You know you can't have a future with him because he don't want you and he don't want that. You thought it could have been a future. That's why you gave him babies. So now you're still out here trying to get other men to come in and be responsible for something your baby daddies don't even want to be responsible for, their own seed. Those men don't even want to be responsible, but you think a man outside of that is supposed to be responsible? Like, that's where y'all really think these men are stupid. This is why I say a lot of these women think that these men are stupid. When you want a step crash dummy to come in and take care of you and your kids, you must think these men are dumb. And when they don't want to do it, oh, y'all lame. Y'all not like and this and that. Nah, they ain't lame. They just not stupid. And they see you coming and they're like, hell no, I'm not doing this. And then these women go to the extreme, which is going to lead me to this clip that I'm about to play for y'all, which proves that these women think men are stupid. They really think that y'all are going to come in and take care of them and their kids. Hell no. I told you I have sons and there's no way I want my sons to meet some old broad with two, three, any amount of baby daddies. And my sons who don't have kids and want to be married. No, they're not hood ghetto men. They don't want to take on you and your kids. They already don't want to do that. They already know better. They're like, no. Like I said before, and they've met women with kids and try to holler at them. And they're like, oh, no, she have kids. That's how she has kids. They're like, oh, hell no. They already know better. They already know, nah, I'm trying to take care of myself and build myself up. I don't want no woman with no kids. But see, that's when you're teaching your sons already, look, that ain't what you, and they already know already. They're like, oh no, you should see their face. Oh man, she had 2 kids. They're like, oh no. They automatically, it's a no. So most men don't want to do that. And this is why they're mad. They're mad because they don't get the opportunity to use these men to come in and take care of them and their kids. Y'all, they better go find them baby daddies and try to make it work. That's the best option, I think. They would have to call up the baby daddies and try to make it work with them, because ain't nobody else really taking y'all on like that. Listen to what she had to say. Here we go. Hit the like button, you guys.
So I had a man today ask me if I was ready for a serious relationship. So to answer that, my aunt suggested this. To start to say, yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious for somebody to take care of my mortgage. I'm serious for someone to take me on vacation. I'm serious about meeting someone that wants to pay a car note and my insurance, that wants to pay my phone bill, my electricity, my internet, that wants to pay for me to get my hair, nails, and lashes done when I want to get them done. Seriously ready for somebody to put gas in my car every Sunday. I'm seriously ready for somebody that, wants to be a stepdaddy. Well, real daddy these days. I don't believe in step. I'm seriously ready for a man that doesn't want other men, because that's a Houston thing. I'm seriously ready for a man who's about that life. So I think that as a man, before you ask someone, are you ready for a serious relationship, think about what serious actually means and define it. Because for me, serious means I'm ready for someone to come in and actually be that HNIC that I need for him to be.
Girl, you're going to be waiting. Oh, you're going to be waiting. You're going to be waiting for a while for that. So you mean to tell me you're waiting for a man to come in who's going to be happy? Let's say this. She's waiting for a man that's going to be happy and excited, ecstatic, right? To come into her household, come into her life and her kids' life, and be ready to take on all of her responsibilities. So she's ready. These independent boss chicks, they've been taking care of themselves and their kids. But you're ready for another human being to come into your life to focus on taking on all your debt, all your bills, and taking on your kid. And you really think in 2025 that there are men in mass who are excited and jumping for joy to come into your life, just to come in and take on all of your responsibilities? Think about that. Let's reverse it, because a lot of times women can't see it until you reverse it. Now, what if this was you? What if a man told you, a man that you was attracted to as a woman, and he told you, I'm ready for a life with you, but I need you to come in and I need you to be willing to ready to take on the responsibilities that I have, and that's what it's going to take for you to be with me. How would you feel as a woman? You would think this ninja is crazy. He done lost his mind. Why would you as a woman come into his life and take on his responsibilities? Because that's a part of the requirements to be with him. Why would you do that? This is what they're like. Why would I do that? So if you're going to ask out your mouth, why would you do it? Why would he do it? Why would any man in 2025 think that that is a flex, that thinking that he's going to benefit from coming in and doing that? Why would he want to do it? That is not a prize. That is not something to be ready to do and be excited to do it. This is not something a productive man is signing up for or want to sign up. That does not sound appealing at all. And they don't give a damn if you're a woman and you got a vagina. That ain't the cost. The cost that he has to put up for you is too much. So these men are not signing up for that, and these women are mad. And they're going to be mad. They're going to be by themselves. There's no way in hell that is a good deal. There's no way in hell. And the way they put it out there, oh, I'm ready. When we talk about relationships and people coming together, it's a mutual thing. It's something that both sides should benefit from. Meaning that if you really want to build something, build chemistry, build a relationship. If it's a build a family. You want to build a life together. You want to go through things and together. You want to come together. You both want to provide resources that benefit the whole. You, the man, and the potential family. You have a like mind. You have things in common that you want to accomplish together. Y'all can come together and come up with a plan and agreement to say, hey, this is how we want our life to be. This is where we want to be 5, 10 years, 20 years down the road. Hey, you want kids, I want kids. We want a family. Are we going to homeschool our kids? Are we going to private school? Are we going to do this? This is how many kids hey, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do this. You can do this. We can build something together cohesively. That's what a relationship is supposed to look like. Not a situation where one party comes in and just expect everything from you just come in with demands. I want you to come in. Me having a real solid relationship means I need a man to pay all my bills and take care of my kid. What does he get out of that? There was no talk of what he gets out of that. And we got to get rid of this notion that, oh, as a man, you're not supposed to expect anything. What kind of man comes in and expect what? No, that day is over, baby. Y'all, that is done. You can't just use, oh, a man shouldn't expect anything. Oh, women supposed to expect everything. A man shouldn't expect nothing. He just should be happy to be there. You mean to tell me he should be happy to be there paying all your goddamn bills and taking care of your kids? And he shouldn't have any expectations from you. Y'all lost your rabbit ass mind. That's why I said they think men are stupid. There's no way any man should sign up for that. And if you are, something ain't right in your head. You on the slow side, because there's no way that's a fair deal. Oh, you need a man come in and pay all your bills and do all this for you. And what does he get? And you never talked about what type of woman you are. And a lot of these women don't look good enough to get all that type of treatment anyway. And why would a man do all that for an older woman? He would, at least he would, like I said, maybe want a 20-year-old who is in shape, fit, young, you know, and he's attracted to her fully. And maybe he might do that for her. But these men ain't going out here going out of their way to do that for anybody. Jamil 843, thank you for the super chat, says the day of the clueless simp is over. Exactly, Jamil. And I'm glad it is, because that's an unfair deal. And they talk about it. I would feel so uncomfortable and weird to come out on social media and say, you know, I'm looking for a man to come in and just pay all my bills. Yeah, I want him to pay my car note, pay my light bill, pay my bill, my everything, my. He's just supposed to. You didn't say, oh, you know, we can come together and we can create some stuff together. No, I just need him to come in and be ready to pay all my bills and do all this for me, not us build something together, but me pay all my. What about his bills? So he got to pay his bills, your bills, and all the bills. And you looking for somebody to take care of your child. Your child don't have a father. Where's the father? I mean, and y'all really think that this is a flex? Like that's why I say they must think men are stupid and slow. Thank you, Jamil, for the super chat. Thank you so much. And when you can't find a crazy man to come in and do that, oh, these men ain't the same. Well, y'all ain't the same. Y'all is very selfish and entitled, and you just want a handout. No, these men ain't doing it. Jamil 843, thank you once again for the super chat. Says women are begging with no charm or finesse. Right. The hat crew just coming out with all this. Thank you, Jamil. All these expectations and don't have anything to offer in return. XYZ, thank you for the super chat. Says DeeDee, take her shopping for who and what she is, baby child, and what is she? You know, ain't nobody taking you shopping, but they need to understand who and what you are. What are you are? Oh, I'm not even talking about this lady in this video. I'm just saying a lot of these women are old, ran through, washed up. Ain't nobody going to take you shopping and giving a goddamn about who and what you are. Who gives a damn? Who and what you are? What are you? An old grandma. Thank you, XYZ, for who and what I am. What are you? Hell, a lump of fat and an old woman. That ship has sailed. You're not the young, attractive woman that have all these options. That ship is going to sail for everyone. You just got to accept it for what it is and stop thinking that you're the prize and somebody owe you something and you still young and youthful. No, we all got to get old. That's the whole point of building a life with somebody, so y'all get old together. And, you know, and until death do you part, you build a life together and you live that life together till y'all get old and one got to go before the other. But at least you've had that long years of experiences together. That's the whole point. But these women are trying to skip the line. Like you're trying to play and forget all of that in your most viable years. And you just playing these games, trying to get to the best, so you end up with nothing. And then you trying to skip and just catch up when you're older and find somebody who's going to do all this for you when you should have been building with the man a long time ago. Now you want a man at the finish line, but now you're older, fatter, more entitled, got kids, all that. These men ain't trying to do that. These men are leveling up and trying to get themselves together. They don't have time to be dealing with a lot of these entitled women. Hell no. You don't need to be dealing with them anyway. I don't think you should. I think you need to work on yourself and leave these desperate old hyenas alone. That's all I'm saying. Stop having these unrealistic expectations for these men because you missed the mark. Y'all wanted to be independent boss chicks. You did that. You worked, you built your careers up, and now you still want a man to come in and take care of all your bills. Come on, what was the whole point of y'all being independent boss chicks? What was the whole point of y'all working hard to build up your career all these years, and now you ain't got no man, and now you want him to come in and take? What is the point of building your careers up and making all this money, getting to the bag and bragging about it, to turn around and want a man to pay all your bills? I will never understand that for the life of me, y'all. I really don't. I really don't understand that. Your money is your money. Y'all work hard. Y'all brag about being these boss chicks, and men ain't and can't level up, but y'all not even trying to work with the man. You don't even want to use your money to you don't even want to spend it. You don't even want to share. So you build yourself up for yourself and your kids. Then just let this sink in. And then you want a man to come with all his resources and just dump it out into you and your kids' lives. What does he get out of that? And then the minute, say the man falls short, y'all ready to leave him and go find somebody else. Like, no, please, I beg any man watching this, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't fall for the okie doke. These women are horrible. The ones who act like this and expect this. This is crazy. This is not conducive to healthy, stable relationships. It's just not. And if you're entitled and you're selfish like this is why a lot of these women are single. And there might be a small few who are single and happy, really happy with their lives, but it's not the majority of them because they still want a man. Now the money is running out. Now things are getting a little more difficult. Now you out here by yourself trying to handle it and maintain it. Now you want a man to come in. But you didn't want to build with him. You didn't want to build with a man together. You thought you had all these options. You didn't want to build with him you don't want to build a bear. You don't want to work with him while both of y'all were down and y'all both build together and y'all benefit the fruits of your labor. You didn't want to do that because you taught you don't need a man, but you playing around with men and having babies with men. And then you're these independent boss chicks. And now that has ran out. And now you want a man to come in. And now you don't want a man to share life with still. You want him to come in and do it all. Do the most. It ain't working. It ain't working. But they're trying to still force it. It's just unfortunate, y'all. And it's ridiculous. It really is. Let's move on. I got another clip for you guys. Make sure you all are hitting the like button, please. Hit the 159 watching, y'all. 127 likes. Go ahead and get the likes up, you guys. Please get the likes up.
Then use hood niggas to elevate your lifestyle. They are not to be taken seriously. Industry men, hood niggas, drug dealers, scammers, all of them. They are not to be taken seriously because even when you are their girlfriend, even when they treat you right, it's always the bare minimum because most of the time they are the first ones in their family to ever have the amount of money that they have. And they are stingy as fuck. No one in their life has showed them to be a provider. No one in their life has showed them to want to be generous. These men are still broken. They're still broke as hell here. Okay? Use them to get near the men who were raised correctly. 9 times out of 10, most of the men that you're going to come across in your early years, they didn't even have a daddy. And if they did have a daddy, their daddy wasn't showing them shit but the wrong things. Use them to get where you want to be.
Now, let's reverse this. If men got on these apps and said, men, just use the educated women to get to where you want to be. Just use them. Use these boss chicks so they can help you out with your business. Tell them what they want to hear, lie to them and use them so you can come up off of them. Oh my God. Could you imagine an uproar? Could you imagine how women would go into a frenzy? If men got on these apps and said, oh, just use these women, use them, get what you need out of them and keep it moving, they would go into a frenzy. But a lot of these women co-sign this type of rhetoric and this behavior. But this is what these women, this is why a lot of these men, even the types of men she's talking about, this is why they're cautious. They're taking caution as well. Because you're saying, okay, the scammers, and first off, why are you even dealing with these types of men? See, this is the thing. These are the types of men that these women deal with in the first place. Scammers, drug dealers. These are the type of men that they are attracted to. But you're telling women to use them. I wouldn't push or advocate for anybody using anybody. That's the problem. And why are you dealing with these kind of men? Why don't you deal with the good men in the first place? Why don't you go after the guys who have something going for themselves in the first place? Y'all spend a lifetime dealing with scammers, drug dealers, the men who are not taking you seriously, hoping to get a lick off of them. But you don't really get as much out of them as you think you would. If anything, they get the most out of you because you end up pregnant by them. You end up with babies for these types of guys. And knowing that these are not men that's going to build a future with you and have a life with you, you know what type of dudes these are. So saying use them in what way? You don't really end up with a lot from these guys anyway. What tends to happen is these women, get ran through by these types of guys. And then you end up going to the guys who prioritize the right things and who are working on themselves and want families. Then you want to run to them, and then you want the most from them. See, that's what actually happens, because you're using them for what? You get ran through and used, really, because them men don't want they don't want to marry you. They ain't trying to have no real life with you. They know what the game is, and they're playing the game, and you playing it right with them. But these are the ones y'all give babies to. You trying to use them, and then you end up with a baby. It seems like he probably used you. And then when you ran through it and he's done with you, now you want to go get the so-called nerds, the so-called guys that y'all call lame. Now you want to go run to them and thinking that they should just take you on, you and your kid, and build a life with you. No, those men aren't stupid. They realize what y'all are doing, and they're not trying to fall for it, and I just think that it's unfortunate that this is how women talk. If you talk about guys who didn't have fathers, a lot of these same women, y'all don't realize if those men didn't have fathers, a lot of y'all didn't have fathers either. Y'all weren't raised properly. This is why you're moving the way you're moving, and your mothers co-sign this type of behavior because they ratchet too. So you didn't have a father either to teach you better. You out here trying to use people and finesse folks instead of going about it the right way. This is not good advice. And this does not help anyone. Because the dudes that y'all calling lame, that y'all didn't want to talk to, they don't want to deal with you now because they know the type of woman that you are. So first off, we got to start speaking differently and start thinking differently and stop thinking that it's okay to be out here using anybody. And why is that y'all run towards scammers and all these types of men, drug dealers? Why would that be your first pick of men in the name of using them, knowing y'all not using them for shit? They more or less are using you. And that's the type of guys that a lot of these women are attracted to, like I said before. And you dealing with these men, and it's not going to go anywhere. So why waste your time? You spend years dealing with these types of men that it's not going to build a healthy, stable relationship. And then when it's finally over, now you want to run to the good guys who've been prioritizing things and trying to build their lives up. Now you want to go to them and ruin them? No, y'all need to learn better, do better. And y'all also wasn't raised right or taught right either. Because there's no way if you had stable parents in your life, they would tell you that this was okay. Narratives and dialogues. Thank you for the super chat. It says off-brand K Michelle sounds just like her. Thank you for the super chat. Narratives and dialogues. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
Okay, you just need the platform. You know how to get out that deal. Do not take that man serious. Do not take that man serious. Why are you taking a man that don't even have a legal job serious? And even if he's an industry man, why are you taking a man that is a first generation rich nigga in his family? First generation rich person in his family. Why are you taking him serious? He got to pay his mama bills, his baby mama bills. He got to do so much for everybody. Then he feel used. He resent taking care of you. It's too much. Black men already come with too damn much. The last thing you need to do is be trying to date him while his ass is the first generation one getting some damn money. Like, no. Go get you a man that came from some money. He saw his daddy taking care and spoiling his mama. He saw his granddaddy taking care and spoiling his mama. Go get with a man like that. A man that came up in the hood and this his first time touching some money. This his mama's first time seeing six figures. They'll never spoil you how you want to be spoiled. They will never treat you how they gonna resent everything about having to take care of you, the kids, everything. They really hate it.
Yeah, and once again, this is bird talk because all of these women are looking for is a big lick and a come up. They looking for a stupid dude to take care of them. That's it. Oh, get you a man, this type of man, he will spoil you. That's all they looking for. They looking for somebody to be a super simp, to come in and just buy them things and take care of them. They never offer anything. You never hear them offering anything. They don't offer anything. But all they want to do is take. None of these women offer anything to the table. All they're looking to do is take. And I just think that it's a problem. And men see it. They see it. And these women, they don't see no shame in their game. They just think, oh, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Go get you a good guy because he ain't going to know no better. and he just gonna want to spoil you just because. Like, nah, y'all, this is ass backwards. XYZ, thank you for the super chat. Says their asses don't have any home training. Right. Thank you, XYZ. I appreciate you. No home training whatsoever. And it looks bad. I hate that on a daily basis we see our women talking like this. You see black women on a daily basis talking about how to use a man. They've given instructional videos also of how to use and finesse a man, which I thought was ridiculous. That there are actual videos of women that I've seen on social media, TikTok or Instagram, where they're literally telling you how to finesse a man. And this is okay. If there were videos of men saying, this is how you finesse a woman, how you get sex out of her, and how you use and lie to her and gaslight and do the things that they say men do. If men did instructional videos on that, once again, it'll be an uproar. They'll try to cancel you with the quickness. But women could literally get on these things and tell other women how to manipulate men. I think that's just so horrible and despicable. Classic Perspective, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, dear, those men will never take you on because the parents wouldn't approve, you idiot. Thank you, Classic Perspective, for the super chat. Exactly. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the support. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Please hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button. Please support the channel, you guys. But yeah, I just think, yeah, you know, it's just so unfortunate and so sad, you know. And once again, listen, I've been married for over, you know, me and my husband been together for over 26 and a half years. And it's like, I'm glad I'm not out here at my big age still trying to find a man, because, you know, and even though, and I'm just going to toot my own horn. Even with all this, I think even if I was single, I think I would probably be able to get a man. I do. I really do. Because I understand what relationships should look like, and I'm not superficial, and I wouldn't require and have all the unrealistic standards that a lot of these women are looking for. I really do. I've seen women who have been able to have multiple husbands. I'm just saying, there are some women, as much as we talk about relationship issues, people marrying and getting together is so difficult and hard, there are still people who are out here getting married. We just watched a couple of young couples the other day get married. And by the way, what's his name? Franklin. Devon Franklin just tied a knot with his beautiful wife. That's what's her name? Megan Good's ex-husband. He just tied the knot with his beautiful wife. I forget her name. Kendra G posted it on her channel. Her and he just got remarried. You know, and they look so good together. Her dress was beautiful. She looked so beautiful. So he just got remarried, which I knew that would happen. I knew he would move on and find somebody else, because that's what happens. So, and there are lots of young couples who are getting married. There are people who are building lives together. It is happening, but the focus is on all of the negativity surrounding it, all of these women with these unrealistic expectations. And the funny thing about it, when you go look into, it's all over YouTube. You go to YouTube, you can see young couples building houses together, building farms and stuff. You know, my daughter, she watches a lot of channels like that of these young couples around her age who are, you know, building families. They got farms because she's into growing things. She loves to grow vegetables and foods and stuff like that. So she wants like a farm and stuff. So she watched these videos of these people with these homesteads, and it's young couples of different races who are young in their 20s, have farms, building lives together. And what you don't see in these couples is the women talking about, oh, he got to make 6 figures. He got this, because they're working together. They're creating families. They're starting off, and it's such a good thing to see that there are young people out here who are thinking togetherness, and they're doing it. But that is not that's not on display, and that is not what we see in the majority, because those women aren't out here with bust down wigs on. Those women look like normal, everyday women, attractive people who are working together and building their lives. But that is not what is portrayed and what we see on a daily basis. What we see is women with the bust down wigs on and the long nails and the whole nine and all of that, these superficial things, looking for a man to take care of them. But the one thing they all have in common is they are all single, and they're all struggling for relationships, because the truth of the matter is a lot of these women don't have the qualities for real stable relationships. So they have to resort to just getting money from a man because that's all that they can require. That's all that they can get. A lot of these men won't commit to them, but they like, well, and they know it. So they're like, well, okay, I better get some money out of them because if I can't get nothing else, I can't get commitment. I might as well get some money. And Lord knows they need the money. So they've resorted to this lifestyle of transactions because that's all they can get at this point. Ain't no man really looking at them for long-term success. We see the type of young women and men who are getting married, and they're not these boss chicks that we see. They understand relationships and building with the man and building families and things of that nature. But a lot of those people come from healthy, stable parents too, as well. They had mothers and fathers. You see the difference between the majority of the women and men who didn't have stable parents versus the ones who've had it, because they think differently, they move differently, they even look different. You know, and this is where you have these women complaining that men don't like the baddies. They go after the plain Janes. Why? Because those plain Janes think differently from the way y'all think. All y'all care about is superficial. Spend money on me. That plain Jane, she understands the bigger picture. And she understands how to work with the man because either she was taught that way or she just realized what's important. So what happens? She ended up getting a husband and they end up building stuff together while all these boss chick, independent thinkers with the bust down wigs and weaves and nails are single. Thank you, C. Irving. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Says DeeDee, my aunt was able to remarry in her late 40s. She has the right mindset. She builds and works with her husband. He's a good guy. Exactly. Thank you, C. Irving, for that. I appreciate you once again. Yeah, because I just think that the majority of the women that we see on display are not the marriage-minded types of women. The women that are marriage-minded, the men that are, and the men who find those women, they're able to get married. I know several women who've been married like twice. The first relationship didn't work for whatever reason. She ended up married again to a good guy. And they're making it work. You know, so I just find it interesting. On one hand, you see people who can get married over and over. And then you have women out here who never are able to get a man to take them serious enough to marry them. So, yeah, I think there are people out here who are getting married. And I think the ones who aren't is because the problem is them. Thank you, C. Irvin. Once again, I appreciate you. I see Black men get engaged, being married, being providers, but the internet will say they're against families the most. Anitra, thank you. That's my sister's name. My sister's name is Anitra. You are right. Thank you, C. Irvin. I see that comment. Anitra, you are absolutely right. Yeah, so it is happening, but social media does not point to it because they want to push a narrative that men are supposed to be acting a certain way, and they want men to cater to what we see the hyenas are asking for. And men are smarter than that in my mind. Jamil 843, thank you for the super chat once again, says no one likes being a stepdad more than a stud. Really? Don't make me. Really? The studs like me. Don't make me choke. Lord have mercy. I feel like I was about to choke. Jamil, do studs like me? They do. Oh, Lord Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord, they do? Y'all, that's true. The studs like me. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. Class Perspective said it's called step studies. What? Y'all lying. Stop bullshitting. Y'all serious? Look, I'm green to all this. Baby, what you mean step studies? Y'all stupid. Oh, Lord. No. I never would have thought of that, Lord. He say, nobody likes being stepdaddy. They like the step studies. Oh, Jesus, Lord. Y'all stupid. Oh, Lord. Thank y'all for the super chat. I'm sorry. Chris Reed says, At what age you supposed to have it together and married? Listen, there's no particular age, in my opinion, because the truth of the matter is, thank you, Chris, for the super chat. The truth of the matter is, we are all works in progress. When you get married, it don't mean that you have it all together. This is why when you hear women say, "Oh, I need a man to come to the table whole," she knows she's not whole. She knows she has a history. She has a background. She's aggressive. She knows she's masculine. She knows she got some issues that she have not completely resolved. And I don't think mentally that everyone ever really gets it all together, but I think you can get to a place where you understand what's important and you focus on that. And if you can have someone in your life that's of like mind who understand what's important and you guys are on the same page, then you work through those issues. That's why marriage, to me, the vows when it comes to marriage are there for a reason, because the things that you make that vow with are definitely things that you have to deal with in a marriage or in a relationship. When they say for better or worse, that's for a reason, because whoever made that up, whoever created that, understands that in life, there's better and there's worse. There's good and bad, thick and thin. That's life in general. So when you're dealing with a person, you're going to go through ups and downs. They're going to be good days. They're going to be bad days. So whoever made that understood that. Rich or poor, because whoever made that understood that money comes, money goes. And you may be up, and that's in business too. If you think about a business, you either in a red or you in the black, right? Businesses go up and down. They fluctuate. The business, that's just how it is. You don't stay consistent with business. There are months where you have where you go up, where you make more. There are months when you make less. It's a ever changing situation that you have to focus on. This is why you have to constantly find things that will help to improve your business so that you can help revenue go up when typically it goes down. You have to always find different strategies to keep your business afloat. Same thing for a relationship. Same thing for a marriage. You have to always stay focused on the things that will help your relationship to thrive. That's why I say marriage is work. You don't just get married and say, "Oh, well, we're married now. Just whatever, we don't have to work on anything. Let's just sit back and let's see what it do." No, you have to always make conscious efforts to work to make your relationship work. It's just you have to maintain a relationship. And this is something that a lot of people aren't telling folks. And this is why people who don't get married or never been married don't understand it. And then the ones who get married, nobody prepared them for it. So they think marriage means a man keep you happy 24/7 and then wondering why he drift off or why he goes out and cheat and all these things, because women are so focused on their own happiness and they think a man's supposed to provide all of their happiness 24/7, and that is not his job. And so when they don't get that rush of that or that feeling that makes them happy, they think something is wrong and they tend to leave the relationship. But then they leave and they still can't find their happiness, because now you walked away from what was a potentially good relationship looking for this happiness and searching, and you never find it. Because it's not about that. You are responsible for your happiness. You're supposed to do things that fulfill you just as the man, and y'all supposed to work together in your relationship to keep it going. So if you are happy over here within yourself and you're content and you are in a good space with yourself and that person is too, that makes the relationship better and thrive more, in my opinion. So I don't think anybody is fully ready for marriage or relationships, but you at least need to find people who have the core values that you have, so that y'all can at least come together to at least work through differences. That's what it is. I think when people are wanting to get married, I think you need to have some type of therapy or counselor to tell you, hey, buckle up. Marriage is not for the weak. Because when y'all have differences or one get mad or whatever, you can't just walk away. Y'all got to really sit in it and work through it and figure it out. And sometimes that's hard. Some people don't want to do that because for selfish reasons, or they don't think they should. No, that's where communication is key. You got to sit down and have a conversation with this person. You can't just walk off and go to your own devices and do whatever. No, you got to sit there. You got to look them in the face. You got to have a conversation. You got to say, hey, look, my bad or your bad or whatever. Look, how did we get here? Let's figure it out, whatever. That's what you got to do. Some people don't want to do that. And I think if you're a selfish person and you don't want to have to deal with somebody else, then marriage ain't gonna be for you. Just live your life, you know. Don't marry nobody, because marriage is all about communication and acknowledging your flaws, acknowledging theirs, accepting their flaws just as much as you accept the good things about them. You got to accept the bad about them. If it's something that's, you know that's a deal breaker, you're supposed to figure that out a long time ago. If there's deal breakers within a person's mentality or attitude, and you know you can't deal with that, don't marry them. Don't commit to them, because if you got to accept the good, the bad, and the ugly, because nobody is perfect. People gonna have issues. You got to determine whether the issues that person has is enough for you to handle, along with all of the good aspects of them. And far too often, people go into relationships looking at all of the good things, and they don't focus on the bad. Well, I wouldn't even call them good and bad. I would just say the flaws of all. We all have them. The upside to a person and the flawed side of a person. You know, do you love this person enough to accept the flaws that come with them? And you know, hopefully they're willing to do the same for you. And along the way, y'all work. If these are things that you want to work on, you work on them, and you get better for yourself. And that way, ultimately, you're better for the person that you're with. You know, I say this all the time. When in the beginning of my relationship with my husband, you know, he was a little arrogant. He had some arrogance to him. You know, the way people talk about relationships now and how women think they're the prize. Well, you know, there are men who have certain standards and they believe that they are the prize. And in my opinion, the way they talk about it now, my husband was that way early on. He was, you know, he thought he was the prize too. He's like, hey, you know, and he was one of those guys. Like, he got everything going for him too. So he was not, you know, he was very secure in who he was and still is. And he, you know, he had this, and he'll say it, he was very arrogant then. And he was. And that's not something that I particularly liked about him. It was used to get on my nerves. But because there are so many other great qualities about him, I was willing to look over that. And eventually he realized, yeah, I was young and I was arrogant. He kind of shifted and changed that the older he got. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Nobody is going to have it all. This is what I think people are looking for, these perfect creatures, and a perfect person does not exist. You have to look at that's why it's important to vet people. You got to look at the person overall. Do they have overall the qualities that you want in a person? And the flaws, can you accept those and go with the best qualities of that person, and y'all just deal with the other stuff? Because that's how it is. And this is why relationships fail, because they're looking for perfection, and nobody is going to be every single thing that you want. Every single thing that you could think of that's good, they're going to be. No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. So I think that's what hurt relationships and why people can't work through issues, because of that. So once you realize what marriage really is and the commitment in it, then I think people can fare better. But if people keep going around thinking that it's superficial and perfect, you're never going to make it work. Thank you once again, Chris Reed. I appreciate you. You're never going to have a relationship because it's you know, it's never going to work. Stud Daddy. What's going on, Chevy Boy Chuck? Thank you for the super chat. I think it's just funny that the studs are the ones who want to be the best stepdad. I just thought that was funny as hell. Oh my God. Thank you for the super chat, child. And the studs are mad at the studs that keep accepting fake gay. Y'all silly. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. See, Irving, thank you for the super chat. Says, should all marriages take premarital counseling? I think it would help. See, Irving, I think premarital counseling would work if you go to the right people, because there are so many so-called counselors now who tell you what you want to hear. No, you need somebody to tell you exactly what it is so you can be prepared for it. Don't sell you this dream, this fairy tale. You know, that's what we was hearing. Even I heard growing up. But the funny thing, I've seen people who are married. I've seen some ugly marriages within my family. I've seen some ugly marriages, and I'm like, ooh, who wants that? So, we see the ugly side of it, but we never see the balance. We don't see productive marriages where they have issues, but they work through them and they keep it going. A lot of people end up divorced. You don't see people staying together. So you already kind of have a negative idea of what marriage is based off what you've seen. But I think as far as counseling, I think counseling, all that might be helpful. But the reason why I say it wouldn't be helpful because of the people doing the counseling. A lot of these people aren't telling these people the right things. They're selling them a dream as well and telling them what they want to hear and all this. No, you can't tell people what they want to hear. You got to tell them the truth. You got to let them know what because they're going into it with this false narrative of what they think a marriage is. It's this fairy tale, the white picket fence, you know, the and all of this stuff. And they're not telling you the ins and outs of it. You need to tell people the truth. Look, so they can be prepared for it. That way they're prepared and they understand, okay, so I know, okay, we're going through a rough patch. Rough patches are real in relationships, in life. Life has ups and downs, ebbs and flows. So relationships do too. So you can't go into a relationship thinking everything's supposed to be perfect all the time. Oh my God, she's supposed to listen to me all the time and do what I say. She has no say and she can't do this. She can't have an opinion. Oh, he's supposed to take care of everything all the time, 100% of the time. Oh my God, when he doesn't, oh, this is a sign for me to leave. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. You know, when you come together, it's no longer me and you, it's us. It's we. There's no I in team. Y'all come together as a team. You work together. So whatever is necessary for you to make this work, you both have to be willing to put in to make it work. It's not the man got to be happy wife, happy life. No, you have to be willing to put in what's necessary to make this grow just as much as you expect him to do it. Both parties need to be in it to win it. You can't have one person doing everything, the other person sitting back, just waiting and expecting everything from this person. Even if even if your man is the provider and paying all the bills, still you need to be contributing as well. That's how you grow together. But I don't know where this notion comes from that, oh, the man is just supposed to do all this and women just sit back like these queens and do nothing. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Thank you, C. Irvin, for the super chat. I appreciate you. So yeah, it's just, it's just, how you look at it. Nobody's 100% ready for marriage, No, I don't, that's like, people always say, look, I don't want to get married or have a family until I'm completely financially stable. I don't see a problem with wanting to be financially stable before you start a family because you have to provide for them. So I understand that. But sometimes, you might find the right person, right? This is how life works. The minute you say something that you want and what you won't do or what you will do, then this is, because I swear, when I met my husband, I was just said to myself, I was working this job and I was like, I need more money. And I'm like, I want to take on another job. And I was dating, but not dating seriously before I met my husband. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not dating. I'm tired of dating. So, I'm about to get a second job and I'm going to work and focus on work so I can build some coins up. That's what I was doing. Right. And then I met him. And it changed everything. That me getting 2 jobs and trying to work and focus on myself did not happen. Did not happen. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think a lot of, you can prioritize things. I think prioritizing things is important, but sometimes things just happen and you can't foresee or dictate certain things in your life happening. And so I just think when you're like, I want to make all this money and I want to make sure that I'm financially stable, you meet probably the woman of your dreams. You meet the woman that has the qualities that you want and you like her and she like you and you guys click and hit it off. And next thing you know, y'all together and you thinking, damn, I want to marry her. She's a catch. She's everything you pretty much what you want her and you married. Next thing you know, you propose to her and she's excited, but you're not all the way financially there yet, but you still go and marry, propose to this woman, you want to marry her. Sometimes I think that's the incentive to push you harder. And I think once you have that woman in your life that is great to you and all of this, it motivates you to do more. You still can go and focus on those things, especially when you have a nurturing, supportive woman right by your side. This is why women get that idea of every successful man has what they say, a supportive woman there. I think that kind of pushes you in a sense. It drives you to go even further because you know you have the support of this woman and you know you want to build a family with her. So it almost drives you to do more. You know what I'm saying? And in some way. And then you end up working harder because now that's part of your purpose, I would say, because you want a family and you love this person and she's there. And I don't know, it just helps to drive you. Not saying that you weren't driven at first, because typically you are. These types of men are. I don't know. It's just add a little bit more to it. Like when you have support there, it's almost as if it was meant to be that way, which I believe it is. When you have a supportive woman that loves you, it's more of a motivation. It's more of something to fuel the fire. You hear what I'm saying? So it fuels you to go more because you want a family and okay, now I have the woman. We want to build a family, so we're gonna build a family. But now I gotta go hard because I really need to provide for my family. So I don't know. I think sometimes that's how things happen. Chris Reed says women are taught to go forward, not backwards in life. So when the marriage get worse, the woman leaves because some women don't believe in worse. Well, that's the problem. I think that's a problem. Marriage says for better or worse, clearly. And yeah, I do agree. Thank you, Chris Reed. I appreciate you once again for the super chat. I do agree that women hate to go backwards because once you've exposed a woman to certain things, it's difficult for her to see anything else. She only wants more and more and more. But when it comes to relationships, you can't think like that. Go backwards to what? Most of these women were broke before they met the men. If you met a man who changed your life and gave you better, if you walk away from him, what's better are you going? What better are you going to? So a lot of times women forget that, hey, before you met this guy, you didn't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out. Really, you were barely making it, struggling. And this man made your life better. So having him in your life made your life better. So if he falls on hard times, you don't want to pick up the slack and help him, knowing that he has the potential to do well because you met him doing well. So you got to understand, a man like that, when he may fall, but he's never going to stay down. He's going to build up because he's done it before. So if he's done it before, he can do it again. That's one thing I've learned too. Yeah, you can't keep a good man down. If he has some struggles or issues, he's going to get back to that place. It might take a little bit of time, but understand that he's a motivated man. He's just falling short for a little bit. And you got to understand that as the woman, as the wife, that, hey, I know my man is capable because I seen him do it. When I met him, he was doing it, but he had some shortcomings, but he going to get it together. And I'm going to support him through this rough patch because I know that he's going to come out on top and we going to come out on top. So that's when your loyalty is tested. That's when you're tested to see if you going to roll with your man that you know is capable, or you going to walk away because you too superficially driven by things and you don't really care about the man. So when they say your loyalty is tested when you go through stuff, that's how you know if a person is with you or not. If they walk away, you walking away and you realize you came into this with nothing. So when you walk away, you're going to walk away with nothing for the most part. And now you're going to have to start all over. So you've been exposed to better, and then you walk away and you don't really have much because you didn't create it. He did. This is what women don't realize. He created the wealth. He brought you into it. So if he created and he falls short, he can create it again. But you, on the other hand, you didn't create it. You came into it. So when you walk away, this is why they try to take the man for everything, because they know by themselves they can't create what he did. You can't do what he did. And this is why they end up struggling when they walk away from the marriage, because they got to start over. Ain't no man just going to up and take you and give you this life again. So you end up by yourself struggling again because that's how you was in the beginning. You're not the creator. You're just getting a part of what he created. So women need to understand, listen, a good man may fall down, but he ain't going to stay there. He going to get back up. And when he get back up, he going to be even better because he learned a lesson. So that's not the time to walk away. You're not getting better when you leave. You're actually going back to whence you came. And now you're going to struggle to try to find another man with some money or with some clout to try to give you what you already had. So this is why they always make the mistake. And a lot of women who walk away from their marriages because the man is struggling a bit, they actually do worse. And then he recovers and he does better. And then we go and get him another wife. You mad now because now this wife is benefiting. He's gotten it together. He's learned and he's doing good while you still struggling, going from man to man to man, trying to get a man to take care of you. That's how that turns out. seen it too many times. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you once again. Chevy Boy Chuck, thank you, says, happy wife, happy life is one of the most dangerous quotes in existence. I agree. Thank you for the super chat. I agree. It is not, it is not something that has proven to be beneficial. This happy wife, happy life just means you have an entitled woman who expects everything from you and she gives nothing in return. And it further perpetuates this notion that women need to be pleased 24/7 by a man, and that a man is just supposed to give them everything and don't expect anything. Is why a lot of marriages fail, because if you gotta be a jumping monkey for a woman 24/7, that's gonna get tiresome. And then she's gonna become even more entitled and inclined to just accept, and don't think that she has to give anything. So yeah, it becomes a problem. And then these types of women end up leaving anyway. You do all this for a woman and then she ends up leaving because she's entitled and she thinks that she can get better. So yeah, I think a lot of women mess themselves up by doing that. And they realize it. This is why you see the women who left their husbands crying and tripped out because they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Yeah, because you messed up. You messed up. Thank you, Chevy Boy Chuck. I appreciate you. You messed up and you realize you messed up. And now you just sulking and you bitter and you angry because you messed up. You did it. Ain't nobody else did it to you. So yeah, that's a problem with a lot of these women. They don't realize what they're doing until they're dealing with the consequences of it. And you can sit down and tell somebody. That's why I say you can lead somebody. You can lead them to the water, but you can't make them drink. I could tell you till you're blue in the face, girl, you making the wrong decision. This is not right. You should do this. Stick with your man. Y'all work together. You don't want to do it because you think you have better options. You think that you can do better. And then when you get out there and you realize ain't no better options, boo, you had the best option you could possibly get. And you walked away from it. Now you out here searching, and now you can't find what you're searching for, and you still unhappy. You still haven't found yourself, and you still tripping, and you still depressed, and you still lost. So this is what a lot of women are realizing and experiencing. But you can't tell them; they got to go through it for themselves. So go ahead and do that, and then you're gonna realize, yes, Tia Mowry for sure. I mean, they gonna realize it. But they may not come on social media and let y'all know that because they feel stupid. You feel dumb that you walked away from the best man you could possibly have, but you didn't see it, thinking that you have all these options. Then when you get ran through and none of them take you seriously, then you crying and even more depressed and you still looking for yourself. That's on you. Let's move on, you guys. So I have this last clip that I'm going to play for y'all. Make sure you are hitting the like button. Y'all hit the like button, hit the like button. Here we go.
Hi, how are you? I'm good. Welcome in. Do you have a question tonight? I have a question. So a little bit of backstory. I am Hold on 1 second, Kim. Yeah. Do you consent to be on a platform and potentially all platforms? Yes, I consent. Okay. So I am plus size, and I feel like it's making me get in my head about dating. I've actually never had a boyfriend. Up until now, I considered myself a lesbian, but I've been trying to date more men. I've always been bisexual, but I just find that women are a lot more accepting, and I've never really felt the same sort of level of attraction and want as a woman. So I would love any advice that you could give. I'm almost 400 pounds, but I do, I feel like I look cute. I have a really nice shape. People always tell me that they don't think I weigh that much, but I think it's more mental. I know that men want to enjoy my body, but
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
She said 400 pounds. Ooh. Jesus Lord, I couldn't imagine. 400. How do you even thrive with 400 pounds on your frame, your body, your skeleton? That's a lot of weight. Jesus Lord. Anyway, let's continue.
I've never had anyone really want me for me, I guess. Ooh. And it's also a little bit difficult to date because I am high earning. I'm a full-time content creator And whenever I meet guys, I usually tell them I'm a teacher.
It's hard to date because you're high earning. I would beg to differ. I think it's probably hard to date because of your size. If you're going to keep it real, 400 pounds is a lot. I don't think most men would want to date a woman that's 400 pounds. I'm just saying. I don't think it has nothing to do with her earning potential. As soon as you see a woman walking down the street that's that big, I think men look at that and say, oh, that's a risk. Unless you are one of them chubby chasers that you just have a fetish for big women. Other than that, most men aren't looking to be with a 400-pound woman. And that's just the truth. So I don't think it has nothing to do with your earnings. They don't care about that because they know you ain't trying to share it. It's the size. Let's continue.
Because I am a Hebrew teacher, but you get those comments like, oh, you're big money, you're this, and I'm trying to avoid that. I don't even bring them over to my apartment because of that. So I want the truth, and any compliments or not compliments, advice you could give me to level up.
So I will say this. There is a group of men in the world who love plus size women, right? I say most African men, most Caribbean men like a full figure woman. I know that for sure. Have you dated men who are African from the continent? Have you dated Caribbean men?
So I live here in Houston, Texas, and I get approached and stopped. Like literally, they will not let me get out of my car, or like they'll be like blocking me in by Africans all the time.
Really?
But I feel like there's a lot of cultural differences. And, a lot of African men, they expect their women to be like a certain way, like, don't do this, don't do that. And I just find that it never works out. Also, I feel like a lot of African guys, they don't have that like quote unquote swag, They're like, oh, there's no girls in my village like you. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back to your village. And then
I don't mean, respectfully, I don't mean an African man who's straight from the continent, who just arrived here this year.
Right.
Maybe someone who's more, they've lived here a bit longer. They've, lived in America a little bit longer.
Right.
I would say a good 10 plus years. They're more like Americanized, I would have to say.
And then I believe the way that I carry myself and even the way that I speak, I prefer Black men, but they're always like, oh, you date white guys, don't you? And so I work at a synagogue. So most of the people that I'm around are white, but I prefer to date Black. So it's kind of like, people have one perception of me and they tend to put me in a box. But it's kind of hard because I feel like, to quote unquote.
Girl, what size is that box? How big is the box that they put you in? I'm just saying.
How big is the box? I'm just saying.
White, even though I'm fully Black for Black men. But then for white guys, I tend to get fetishized. So
So this would be my advice to you, Ken. If I'm keeping it real, I would want you to drop the weight. I would want you to lose weight.
Thank you, Ashley.
And you said you're 400 pounds, right, Ken?
I'm 365 pounds.
Ooh,
and for any women that are looking for plus size clothes, follow me because I post every day.
Oh, honey.
All right. So I want us to get the weight down. Can we start with 100 pounds? Can we start there?
So I actually lost 130 pounds 2 years ago.
Thank you.
And I was getting approached a lot, but I feel like a lot of women go through like body dysmorphia. And, people were treating me so differently that I almost didn't know how to handle it. Like it was giving me a lot of anxiety. So
after losing 100 and something pounds, you still got 300 and something to go. That's not listen, don't get me wrong. And I'm not trying to, losing 100 pounds is a lot. But when you got 300 and something more, it's like, it's not a big difference on a big person. If I lost 100 pounds, oh Lord, I'm gonna look like I'm sick for sure. I would be bones. I'm just saying. But if you are already in the hundreds, you weigh several hundred pounds and you lose 100, that's a big accomplishment. I'm not taking that away, but it's still so much fat on you. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's still not, it's a big deal to lose that, but because you have several more hundreds, it's like, there's still big, obvious fat. I'm just saying. So it's to you, that's a lot. And it is a lot, but to other people looking a lot, sometimes they, you really they don't really notice the difference is what I'm saying. If you lost 100 pounds when you weigh 400, let's continue.
believe if I dropped weight, it would be helpful. Even my mother says that. She's like, well, if that's the only thing you think that, is not working for you, change it. But I felt like even when I changed it, I was getting approached by more men, but not like the quality of men that I would want.
And what type of man do you want specifically? How much money does he make? What's his lifestyle like? What is his character? Can you describe that for me?
For sure. Definitely a high earner just because I am. I like, over 100K a year, which is kind of hard. I'm honestly not too big on like finances. I mean, of course I am, but I feel like with men, especially Black men, some of them are just not there yet. But I care about education. On my dating apps, when I use them, I always like try to filter out people that have like a graduate degree or above. High earning. I am not too big. I mean, of course, got to be cute in the face, but I'm not against dating someone who's bigger because I am bigger. But really, like, fun, a sense of travel and adventure. I actually went on a 30-day road trip to Alaska, so I don't have a regular job. I want someone that can, be free, kind of like how I am. And my mother told me I should go to Afrotech to like meet some guys because I'm here in Houston. But
them Afrotech dudes gonna see you coming, boo. They ain't stupid. Them Afrotech dudes are not buying in. Go and focus on yourself and lose the weight and get healthier. And then maybe you can go out. But now, no. And I'm not, no disrespect to her or nothing like that, because she seems like a nice person. But girl, no, y'all know that the weight is a problem. Most men don't want overweight women. So that's what's holding you back. Not your money, not all these other things she's talking about. It's just your weight. Your weight is like front and center. When you're walking down the street and men see them several stomachs, they're not interested. Men are not interested. They're not interested. They're not interested. Most men are not interested. They're not interested. They're not
interested. They're not interested. They're not interested. They are not interested. Most men are not interested when you 400 pounds, baby.
They're not. That's just the truth. There is no slight against you, but the weight is the problem. The weight is ultimately the problem. I don't think she's an ugly woman at all, but it's the weight. And if her mother told her it's the weight, even Ashley is telling her it's the weight, focus on your weight before you go out here trying to date, because most men are not going to take you seriously. Jamil 843, thank you so much for the super chat, says, how you that picky with men but not food? Food is an addiction. Food is an addiction, and it's hard to break. But yeah, I hear you though. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, that they're not interested. They're not. That's the difficulties she's going to have until she gets herself in a better place. In her with her weight, and then it's cute and everything that, people, you want people to see you for who you are, but they people are superficial, just like women want certain things from men want certain things from women, and part of it is they want you to be in, at least have a pretty fit shape, you don't have to be bones, but when you see 300-400 pound women, that's that's more than linebackers. That's more than what the linebackers weigh. That man said he was running back, and linebackers be like 290 or 200, but they be fit and they be muscly and they work out. But when you 300-400, any of that's a lot for anybody to have to handle, and it's unhealthy. So as much as women realize that, I know it's difficult, because you really got to really put in some work to get your body to a healthier place for a man to really take you seriously, because all you'll find is that men fetishize you, or they just look at you as some quick, smash and dash. But they're not looking to really be with you and be happy to be seen with you and take you to their mothers and to meet their parents and want to marry you a lot of times. No, let's just, I don't know, and I've seen two big people together, but they were big younger. They started off younger where they weren't as big, and they got big together, and they got married and had children, but they big together. But I mean, just big off rip out here trying to find somebody, it might be difficult, not impossible. I'm not going to ever say it's not impossible, but it's not likely. I'm just saying. Jamil says, be for real. Them nerd ninjas don't want her. Right. They don't. They're not stupid. They know. They're not. Most people aren't looking for big, heavily obese people. It's just not what it is. Thank you once again, Jamil. I appreciate you. let's continue.
Someone that just has their shit together, you know? I feel like now a lot of women are like, oh, he has to make this and do this. It's honestly kind of hard sometimes just finding a man that has like a solid job, his own apartment, and like a car. So I just want someone who like is a full functioning adult and, you know, can have a conversation. There was a man about 3 months ago who actually...
Before you tell me that, sorry to cut you off, Ken, about that you met 3 months ago, I want you to know, and it's unfortunate that we live in a superficial world, and I'm not saying you don't look beautiful or you don't keep yourself put together, because I think you do, right? But I want you to know we live in a superficial world, and I want you to know exactly what you're asking for exists. However, you have to change who you are to get that guy. So there are men who make 100K plus, who are educated, who want to travel, who read books, who can engage in intellectual conversations, right? They do exist. But I think you can open up and change your reality when we change ourselves, right? So I want us to work on our weight. I want us to drop the weight. And as you're losing the weight, just so it doesn't feel like, how do you say like, wow, overwhelming when you're losing the weight, I want you to go to therapy and get you a fitness trainer and listen to affirmations while you're going through the process. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
But this is only your reality. I'm not saying, again, you can't attract a quality man, but this is your reality because of who you are right now. That doesn't mean you're not beautiful, but I know if we work on ourselves more, when we lose a bit of weight, it changes our world. It changes the options. Okay? And this goes for all the women watching. All the women. You don't even have to be 300. You could be 150 pounds and go down to 130 pounds, and that'll change your dating options. This goes for all ladies at any weight class. And so you were saying about a guy you met 3 months ago.
Yes. So I met a guy 3 months ago and he was like, you know, you're a good woman. I'm a good man. Like he really wanted to date me. And I was like, okay, this is what I've been wanting, like someone that actually wants a relationship. But he was so boring. Like literally it was like talking to a wall, like watching paint dry. And I will agree that I probably like slept with him too soon, but it was like, you know, if we are going to be in a relationship, I need to see if it's like good or not. I mean, it was okay, but it's like after we like had, you know, intercourse, that's all he could think about. And
hold on, Ken. Ken, you over here talk about men sexualizing you, but you saying you got the test.
But see, that's what be happening.
So you want
see, the real deal comes out, girl. I think did I cover this? I don't know, or maybe I just remember seeing it. Girl, you down bad. See, this is why you be 400 pounds and you got some other shit going on, and then you wonder why you single. Just saying, you can't be big, bad. All you can't have all these bad traits. You know what I'm saying? Something got to be good. You got to have one or the other. You can't be 400 pounds and then have other issues. It got to be that one thing. But let's continue.
Demon time too.
Well, no, this was like after a month and he was like pressing me to be in a relationship. I was like, I don't even know if I'm like, I don't know. Like he was, maybe because I hadn't had anyone that wanted to be with me like that before. He was so adamant. He wanted me to be his girlfriend. I was like, wait, this is like too much for me. Also, maybe I wasn't really feeling him like that, but you know, he bought me jewelry for my birthday and like did all the things that I wanted, but he just wasn't for me. It was
why wasn't he for you?
Child, you could be 400, 500, 600, 1,000 pounds, and they still gonna be passing up dudes like they have all these goddamn options. Girl, sometimes you gotta be grateful. Y'all be talking about the Lord and God and praying. You gotta be grateful for what the Lord sends you. You had a man that wanted to be your man. You slept with him. He was buying you shit, and then he liked you. He was. You wanted somebody, but you said he boring, and you wasn't into him. I mean, but you back out here looking for a man to take you seriously. Even at 400 pounds, you could be entitled and you could be delusional to think that you got all these many different options. This is crazy. And then they still be wondering, why am I single? Ain't nobody taking me seriously. Girl, you had a man who seemed to like you, probably would have been accepting of you, and you didn't want him. Now you're back out here. You ain't gonna find too many that gonna want you. I'm just saying, baby, it's just, and we don't live in a delusional world, child. They delusional as F. XYZ, the nerve. Bye, Fat Leisha. Oh Lord, have mercy. Like, come on. Like, what? This is why I say women are delusional, and I'm standing by it. A lot of these women are delusional for sure. Come on now. You ain't gonna have all these different options. You got a man that liked you and buying you jerk, girl. You should have grabbed him up and y'all should have sailed him to the sunset in the biggest boat you could find, so y'all wouldn't sink. I'm just saying. Lord have mercy. This is crazy, y'all. Latrell, thank you for the super chat, Latrell. There goes her opportunity. Girl, bye. Exactly. A missed opportunity. Like, come on. That's why I say people are delusional. You couldn't make it work with the man that like you. You do realize you're not gonna have all these different opportunities. And they be coming up here like, I can't find anybody, but you had somebody that liked you. Maybe that could have been it. That's your person, but you don't like them. Thank you, Latrell. I appreciate you. It's crazy. This is insane. Let's continue.
Was it his looks? What was it that changed after you guys had sex? What changed?
He just wasn't really interesting. I feel like I'm someone that gets bored kind of quickly. And I'm not trying to say like I was just like, oh, I just kicked him to the curb. Yeah. Ashley, he was so boring. You know, whenever you sit with someone and y'all have nothing to talk about, like you have nothing in common, or whenever you're really holding the conversation and then you stop and then the conversation just drops. I really want to be with someone where we can actually have a bond, like have a friendship, you know, not just let's do it. And
But wait, Ken, outside of, intimacy, was he taking you on dates? Was he doing things for you? Was he making sure you were okay? Were you guys, trying different hobbies, doing different things? Was he bringing you flowers, cards, and candy? Outside of being boring, did he check those boxes?
Yes.
So he was doing all of the things that most women want from a man, but he was boring. So you cut him off because he was boring. That's what you're telling me, Ken.
I cut him off because I didn't think he was very emotionally available and he was boring. My car got broken into and I was really, really upset because they stole some very sentimental things that you can't just rebuy. He was like, oh, don't worry about that. I can just buy them for you. And I was like, you're not understanding. I'll never be able to get those things back. Like they meant a lot. And he was like, oh, I know how to make you feel better. We can just have sex. You probably need to have sex. And I was like, is the only way you know how to make a woman feel better to have sex or to buy her something? And I told him I needed more like emotional connection. And I gave him like,
girl, surprise, surprise. That's most men. Shit. Honestly, y'all let me know if that's the case. Most men ain't gonna sit down and kumbaya with you. They're gonna fix the problem, girl. Newsflash, most men aren't that talkative. Let's be honest. Most men ain't gonna be like you. If somebody stole your things out your car, what you want him to do? Go find the robbers? If he said, hey, I'll buy you some more, or, maybe he was pushing it, oh, let's just have sex. If he was, maybe, he was just going a little too far with that open, obvious like that. But if he said, hey, I'll just buy you some new, what do you want him to do? That at least he's willing to try to fix it. What do you want him to do? Sit down and cry with you on the couch and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. You want an Oprah moment from a man? Most men don't do that. That's your girlfriends. Most men don't sit down and do that. They're going to like, okay, well, look, we're going to have to fix the problem. Well, what can I do to help or whatever? But I ain't going to sit down here and kumbaya with you and cry over these sentimental things. Most men are like that. Y'all don't understand men, and whoever this young man was, maybe he had some issues because he was dating her. I'm just saying. And, but he probably, liked her. Maybe he liked her. Maybe he liked the sex with her. Maybe that was just what it is. But he seemed to be trying to do things with her. But I don't think women understand. Most men, from my experience, they're not as emotional as we are. So you can't expect them to act like you would act. Somebody stole you. Okay, what can we do? We can't, you report the incident or whatever. What you going? I mean, he can't do too much about that, but try to replace the things that were stolen. So they're sentimental. What you want them to do? Cry? You want to sit down and cry and feel sorry with you for an hour? Like, come on, men, don't do that. Lord, my Lord, girl, you, Dre the Dream says she has to pick a struggle for real. Girl, you gonna be by yourself, baby, with dudes who gonna just try to play you. I'm just saying. Thank you, Dre the Dream, for the super chats. So these niggas gonna play you. You had somebody that seemed to like you. You should have went with it. Jamil says getting bored quickly is the language of a 304. Right. And I'm not saying she's a 304, but it sounds like she is trying to be one, a big one at that. I'm just saying. Thank you, Jamil. I appreciate you. And I don't know what's worse, a regular 304 or a big one, because it's like maybe, you get bored. Maybe the man recognized that you like sex, and that's probably why you with him for that, because you probably, didn't have any before, or maybe you were getting it in with somebody. I don't know. But Lord have mercy, do you really want a relationship or you don't? What do y'all think men are? They really be confused about who men are. Let's continue.
Like a month to get it together, and it never happened. And we didn't have sex until after like a month or so of talking. And I'm not gonna lie, he was still boring, but I wanted to see if I could really get with it, and I could not. I do have one question for you. I would like to know if you have any advice about how to feel more confident going out by yourself. Because of my job being a content creator, which I'm sure you can relate to. I mean, I see you going out and stuff, but I tend to feel very isolated sometimes in my apartment. Like, I literally have so many boxes that I need to unpack. And whenever it comes time to go out, I'm feeling like a recluse. Like, I'm normally very extroverted. Everyone in the comments like, oh, she's just a yapper. Like, I'm social, but I've become a lot more withdrawn, and I'm not sure if it's because of my weight or if there's any ways I can just feel more confident. Like, I always try to look cute when I go out, have my hair and stuff done. And I've been having better experiences lately, but it's just a lot.
Yeah, I would say definitely when women start to feel this, in my experience, after speaking to thousands of women on this live and in one-on-one calls, I know for sure when we don't want to go out, it's because of our weight. It's because of the conversations we're having with ourselves, like a self-esteem thing. So once we get this together, right, we start back on our routine, we're working out, and we push ourselves to get out the house, right? You have to make it a habit. Just like you're dedicated to content, you have to be dedicated to getting out the house. So that means once or twice a week, you're going to a bar, you're going to an event, you're going out, you're socializing. So you get more comfortable in those spaces. And after a while, as a content creator, it gets boring. It's always just you. You should want to be around others. Right. You should want to be able to put your phone down and just have a regular conversation that's not about TikTok or not about Instagram. Right. Does that make sense? So 100%. I want you to work on you, Ken. I know you're beautiful. I know you're confident in who you are, but I want you to continue to improve that, right? So go for your walks, change up your diet, work on you. I think you have a lot of potential. You're a very smart girl. You have a lot going for yourself, but I think you will open up your options 100 times more and get the guy that you think doesn't exist if you drop the weight. I promise you. I promise you, you will.
Thank you so much for all of your advice. I know I actually have a walking pad over here. I'm like, I have this equipment just sitting in my apartment. Let me actually use it. I really appreciate you letting me on your platform. And this was great. So I appreciate it.
Get on the walking pad now, ASAP. Don't wait. Get on it now, honey. Just saying. Hopefully she finds what she's looking for. I hope she can get what she's looking for, but it's going to be a struggle. Jamil, 843, thank you once again. Single boss chick's going to have to eat. No. Okay. That's okay. What that's going to do? They can't get along with each other. So that's what they're going to have to do, Jamil. That's what they're going to, okay. gotta do? Ew, okay. That's the only resort? Is that the only resort? That ain't even working for him, child. That ain't even working for him. Thank you for the super chat, Jamil. Chris Reed says, is that young woman we finally see off of Martin? You see how she treat Cole since he lost his job? Oh my God. Thank you, Chris Reed. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat, child. Y'all a trip. Y'all a trip. Child, I'm just like, girl, get on that walking pad with the quickness, honey. Get it together, and then report back and let us know how it's going. Because child,
you're welcome. Please come back before January 1st. I'm putting you on my list. I have a list of women. Okay, everyone has different amount of weight they want to lose before the end of the year or something they're working on. So I want you to check back in the month of December. Okay, with an update.
Hey.
Yes, ma'am. I got you.
Right.
All right, beauty. Have a good one, doll.
Bye, honey.
Thank you, Ken, for coming up. Thank you so much. And again, I commend all the ladies who come up and they share their story, because it takes a lot of courage to come up here in front of 3,000 people and just pour your heart out, whatever that. It takes a lot of courage, okay? With all these comments. All right,
let's see.
I will say that.
To do, but I can't seem to like fall back in love.
Hold on, let me go back a little bit.
Who's close enough? Who is close enough? I will say that. So try it out. All right, let's see who we have up next. Oh, can we get the likes up? Can we get to, I don't know what, 180,000 likes, 200,000 likes? Yes, press save.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Rose. Welcome up.
Hello.
All right, are you here for advice?
I think two things.
All right, do you consent to be on a live and potentially all platforms?
Yes.
Okay. What tip? Go ahead. You can ask your question.
Okay, the question. I think this is just for probably older women, but I feel like I have a situation where it's a guy who is like really, really good to me, and he does like everything that I would want in a guy to do, but I can't seem to like fall back in love with him. And so I'm debating against like doing the truest act of love and saying, hey, I can't reciprocate like how he feels about me, so I should just let him go? Or should us as women like sacrifice and say, I don't know, like we should just let it like basically learn to fall back in love again, because you could miss out. Do you know?
Like, did he cheat or do something that was unforgivable that took you time to get back? Like, why did you guys fall out of love?
Because I carried everything financially, so I kind of took in like a masculine role, and I think it made me like fall out of love because I lost respect. But he's back, and he's like, you know, he's working, he's doing every single thing. But besides that, he's the type that'll run my bath water or like just do anything I ask him to do. And like right now, he's like, what I'm telling him, like, I don't want to be together because I'm looking for certain qualities. And he's like, tell me what it is. I could do it. Why you're not giving me the chance? And I'm like, dang, if there's a man that's saying, well, tell me what's wrong, because a lot of guys don't be like, tell me what's wrong, I'll fix it. Should I tell him what's wrong? And
yeah, why haven't you told him? It sounds like if he wants to come back, not saying you have to press go on it, but if he
need to leave her alone. Bottom line, he need to leave her the hell alone. Walk away from her. You can find somebody else who will respect you and treat you better. I think he should leave her alone because she's indecisive and she don't really want him. She knows that he's a good guy, and she knows that he's willing to, he's trying and he's making efforts to make it right and give her what she wants, but she's not really into him. And I think he should leave her alone, or she should leave him alone, because they should leave each other alone, because it's not going to work. She's going to push him away, and it's going to be a problem. And I think he's doing too much to give into her, and she don't really want him. I think this is why I say a lot of women need to work on themselves, because a lot of these women are so confused as to what a good man is supposed to be, because they've only dealt with Pookies and Ray Rays. They've only dealt with a certain caliber of man that they were physically attracted to, so they allow certain things and can complain on the back end. When you meet a guy who's willing to be what you need him to be, it scares them. They're not used to that. It seems weird. It doesn't seem normal to them because they're used to chaos. They're used to dealing with the toxic man. They're used to dealing with a certain kind of man. And when you meet a man who is not toxic and he's actually doing the right things, it baffles them. They don't know what to do with that. Because partly it's because a lot of them are very toxic themselves. See, the pookies that they deal with, those men are actually on their level mentally. There's pookishas and there's pookies, and they are attracted to each other. So you know how to deal with toxic pookie because you're toxic pookisha. So y'all really on the same level mentally, but a lot of women make themselves believe that they're on a higher level than a pookie when they're right there, the pookisha right there equal to him. This is why they deal with these men for years, have babies with them, because y'all are actually on the same level. You just may have a job, and you may be a little bit more stable. You might have an apartment, you got a job, because you have to, because you already got kids. So you got to provide for the little rascals, right? So you got to provide a place because nobody else is going to do it for you. So you're doing it out of necessity. So you got to provide a place. You got to have the transportation to get back and forth to work to take care of your little rascals. You got to do it because you don't have that support any other way. And then a lot of times it's Section 8 and government assistance that's assisting you. So you get a little advantage because you have that. Pookie can't get that. So Pookie just say, hell with it. I'm going to go sell some weed and I'm going to stay on the street corner and I'm going to get with her because she going to let me stay with her and I got a place to stay and she going to give me the loving because she attracted to me. So I get the best of both worlds. I don't have to, I'm not pressed to do anything more. I don't have to do anything more and I'm not going to do anything more. And she's still going to give me the loving. She's still going to hold me down. She's still going to be there for me because she like what I offer and she attracted to me. So this is how they get over. And these women deal with these types of men for years until it just fizzles out and it's over. And then they got to move on. They end up being single mothers for years because no man, with standards see them as something that they want to be with. So you end up being by yourself, just sleeping with different other pookies, and that's it. And so when you meet a man who is actually of some value, you don't know what to do with him. This is why you have women who've been engaged to good men. Oh, he's a good man. He treated me, he respected me, but he just wasn't mine. No, he just wasn't the toxic nature that you were used to. So you dismiss him because you're used to you haven't healed. You have issues. You don't realize, they don't realize that they right on par with the men that they've been dating. Y'all pookies and pookishas. Y'all go hand in hand, but you think you're a little bit better once again because you got a job and you have an apartment. But y'all was really on the level. And then when you meet a guy who is actually above your level, you don't know how to deal with that because you're going to mess him up. You're going to disrespect him. It is not about the money because Pookie didn't have no money and you was perfectly fine. You was perfectly fine sharing with Pookie because you was attracted to him. This other guy, you're not really physically attracted to him. So now you expected more from him. And this is why she pushed him away. But he's still too good of a guy that he's trying to come back when he deserves better. He shouldn't be with her because she's going to wear him out. And the minute he better not fall on hard times again because she's going to be ready to leave him again. She's going to yo-yo him and play with him. He need to go find somebody who will respect him and appreciate him because she's not doing it. And so you got to call on here, ask somebody about a man that's good to you, probably was good for you from the gate, but you felt entitled and felt like he wasn't good enough for you to walk away from him. And now I think he should run for the hills. That's what I'm saying. Because they're going to end up broken up anyway. That relationship ain't going to last if they're not already broken up. So I just think men need to have better standards for men who move like that and realize that you're valuable and you don't have to deal with this type of behavior. You would do better by yourself. And so I just think, once again, these women have inflated their levels and they really think that they're more than what they are, but you are attracting just what you are. Pookie and Pookishas belong together because they don't know how to deal with the man of standards. You don't know how to deal with the man who is of a good caliber. They don't know what to do with him. So they run him off. They treat him bad. They disrespect him because you're trying to find a way to run him off. So you can go back with your soulmate, Pookie. I'm just saying. Let's continue.
He wants to prove himself against you, and now he has a job. He's financially stable. You can always test it out. You can see. You don't have to. You could dip your foot in the water. Okay, dip your foot in the water. But you're a Capricorn. I think we're really good. We have good intuition. I will say that. Okay, so you could dip your foot in the water, but you're a Capricorn, right?
Yes.
I know we like stability. Like, it's very important for you to be stable. That's like right up there with air for us.
Yes.
So you can see,
And it's like I don't feel the leadership, but he's trying. But it's like if he's trying, and I know I'm not truly in love with him, I'm just like doing him a disservice because it's like I'm getting the benefits, but I'm not in love. And when I'm not in love, and I'm not respecting you, then I don't want to be intimate. I don't want to do all these things. But maybe it could come along if I see he's providing some
leave
type
him
of
alone.
stability.
Leave him alone.
But do I wait?
Leave him alone. Ashley, girl, you need to leave this man alone. Point blank leave him alone. No, you're gonna ruin him. No, leave him alone. Leave him alone for sure. Leave him alone. Tell her, Ashley.
For that, I'm 27.
So you're young. But is he doing it now though? He's back. Has he started paying the bills and stepping up to the plate?
Away, honey. Don't
kinda, but then sometimes I feel like it's that thing where you tell them and they do it because it's like a manipulative tactic where it's like he'll do it and then he'll stop and mess up. But it's like
Ashley,
I don't know. I'm trying to decide because of my age also.
Girl,
that,
leave that man alone.
You know, sometimes I don't know. Like
don't care about
we think we have to also settle where it's like because the generation now is everybody just everywhere. So should it be like, should I stay?
No,
because I should just be trying to fight for like a good man, or is it like I don't know? Just go with your heart. You don't feel it, you gotta let it go.
Let him go.
I think sometimes we settle because we don't think we can get better, or we won't ever find better. So we're not gonna let that go, and that's probably what you're feeling. What if I don't find a guy who rubs my feet, runs to the kitchen, give me a plate of food, and wants to do the little things?
Let him go, Ashley.
So you're holding on to that,
let him
although
go.
You know that you need help financially and you can't do it by yourself. Like, you know that's not enough in the long term.
Yeah.
So again, that's up to you to decide. What do you want to do?
Let him
do you
go.
Want to stay?
If she's not in love with him, she's gonna constantly disrespect him. She's never gonna appreciate him, and he's gonna always be trying to jump through hoops to please her. Hell no. Hell to the goddamn no. Let that man go and build his life and find somebody who appreciates him. Let him go. And why y'all don't tell these women? No, let him go. Because now she's just using him. And she don't really want to be with him. So she gonna always find some fault in him. Let him go. Latrell, thank you for the super chat. Says, bro, she has kids. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Ma'am, if you see this video, leave him alone. I hope y'all probably not even together. Because she's going to continue to disrespect him. She don't want him. She don't want him. He's just a nice guy. She feels stupid by letting him go because he's a nice guy. But if you don't want him, leave him be. He can go find somebody else. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. Let's
figure it out, or do you want to move on? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I feel like I want to be the person to fight in love and try and give people chances. But then I want to be also to be the person to be like, when you don't feel something, you let it go. You don't, if it's not there, you don't force it. And you don't, I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me. I wouldn't want a man to say, oh, she's kind of.
You don't want him. If a man was saying that about a woman, you would tell him, leave her alone. Let her flourish and go somewhere else. Why is it so difficult to tell this woman, leave that man alone? He can go find somebody. Let him go. I would have told her, let him go. You ain't really feeling him. You know he's a good guy, but you're not good for him the way you treated him. So let him go. Chris Reed, thank you for the super chat. Says, well, if the 10 inch is working, why leave him alone? Yeah, but she's playing with him. She's playing games with him, and eventually she's gonna run out of games, and she's gonna get frustrated with him all the time, and then it's not gonna ever work. So you're wasting this man's time, and you're wasting your time. Let him go and flourish somewhere else. You know, she don't want him. It's clear she don't want him. She said she's not in love. She doesn't want him. She just hates to move on because she knows he's a good guy. Let him be a good guy to a woman who appreciates it. Thank you, Chris. Classic Perspective says, let him go. She's going to cheat on him. Eventually, I agree. I 100% agree. She don't want him. It's very clear. So don't stay with somebody you know you don't want it, and you just with him out of sympathy. You with him out of pity for him. No, you shouldn't be with somebody out of pity. Let that man go. I bet they're not together. Thank you, Classy. I bet you they're not together. I bet you they're not together. Let's continue. Well, she froze.
I don't know, something. It cut out, you guys. I think she got a call.
Let me fix the camera again. Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Oh, Rose came back here swinging. Okay. Here swinging. So where did we left off where you said you're not sure and I told you you have to make a choice. So
my phone died. He did not call me. That's what people said.
Okay, your phone died.
Yes, I promise.
We squinting. We like, okay. If he became a millionaire tomorrow, do you think he would still be with you?
Yes.
Okay. All
yes.
right.
I think he would. I definitely think he would. And I think that like he's the only man that I've ever felt like when I'm around, I'm sure he wouldn't cheat or anything. But it's like, what can I do anyway if I don't have respect for him now? You know what I mean? What can I do now if I don't have respect for him now?
It's just interesting, Lord. These women are psychologically, mentally disturbed. It's so interesting to me that women will find a man who you can say, oh, you believe that he will be faithful. But he's a good guy. He adores you. He want to be with you, accept you, your flaws and all. But you're not attracted to that. You're not attracted to good men. These women are not attracted to good men. They're attracted to the niggas that they complain about. Y'all are attracted to deadbeats and men who don't take you seriously. But a good guy come along, you can't find nothing inside of you to be attracted to this man and this man that respects you and loves you. You can't be respectful to a man that's respectful to you and loves you and want to be with you. That shows how disturbed a lot of these women are. Y'all can't find no way to love a man that loves you back. Y'all gotta go be with somebody that's gonna challenge your love and challenge you and give you a run for your money and make you feel stupid and then you be crying all the time. But that's the ones y'all go after. Oh, because he's so fine and he's so this and that's you attracted to the edge, the rough around the edges, the roughnecks. Y'all run behind that and he's running from you. Then the guy who you can say, oh, you believe he will be faithful, he loves you, he want to be there, he want to abandon you and all this. You can't find nothing attractive about him to be in a relationship and give him reciprocate that love back. That shows you how disturbed a lot of these women are. They don't know how to accept love from a loving man. They don't know how to accept it. They can't find him attractive, but y'all find the deadbeats attractive. And y'all have kids by him and y'all be like, ew, I don't want him. But when you get a good man, you don't know how to accept that. They don't know how to show love. You don't know how to give love. You don't know how to give the things that you're asking for. And it's been proven over and over and over again. These women will marry good men and then walk away from them because they think they can do better. Then you go with a hood dude and he knock you up and you're pregnant and you complain and talking about he don't want to you didn't think he was going to take care of his child. Like it is a mental disturbance happening right before our eyes and we see it and nobody's willing to talk about it or address it. These women are Looney Tunes. They're confused. You don't know how to accept love from a man because maybe you didn't get love growing up. Nobody ever told you. You just don't recognize it. It's unfamiliar and y'all run from it. You got to call into a show to ask a person whether you should show love to a man that's showing love to you. That's mind-boggling, right? And wonder why these women have horrible relationships and don't know how to pick men? Because they picking what they are comfortable with. And what they are comfortable with is the same ones that they're complaining about because you don't know anything else. You don't know how to accept good men. They don't. You don't know how to love a man that loves you. It's unfamiliar. It's crazy as hell, y'all. These people need psychological help, y'all. Let's continue.
And how long should I wait for him to
what?
Provide me some type of as a teammate? I'm talking about a teammate. I'm not looking for a man to take care of me right now. I'm 27. I think we do got a lot of growing to do. That is like outrageous for me to look for that at this age. But
outrageous for you to look for what at this age?
A man to fully provide for me. Like,
no, it's not outrageous. That's the perfect age to look for.
At my age too?
Well, I say older. It's very rare that you're going to meet a man at that age who can do that. So you would have to go older.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With him being the same age as me, I don't think it's crazy for me to think he could provide. And but it's also just like a win-lose situation because I'm definitely a high earner. I have my own app. I have Airbnb properties, and it's just like he's not going to catch up. If so, anytime soon, but I don't want that. I just want a teammate. I just want to say, I'm gonna buy some groceries or I'm gonna pay some money on the rent or something or whatever, but it's
No,
just
you're a Capricorn girl. That's not gonna last. You're gonna be like, so what are you doing? What else?
I'm so sick of this shit with the Capricorn and all that. That's just an excuse to be ratchet. I don't believe in all of that. You can say I'm wrong for it. I don't give a damn. I don't believe in all this Capricorn bullshit. It's called being an adult and being logical, responsible, and understanding. Like all this sign stuff is a bunch of bullshit. Like, no, you as an adult, you should have enough sense to know right from wrong. Right from wrong. That's it. A lot of these women make relationships more complicated than they have to be with all this other BS, is breadcrumbing and all this. What is it? What they call it? Bread. I don't even know what that is. Breadcrumbing and this. What else they say? Love bombing. All this shit y'all make up. It doesn't really matter. Y'all don't know how to. Women have proven over and over and over, time and time again, that they don't know how to accept good men. That you don't know how to be a good woman to a good man. That's just what it is. If you know that you can't be a good woman to this man, let this man go and find somebody who can be good to him. Because she's finding all kind of excuses in the world. Oh, you Capricorn, I don't give a damn what sign you are. There's all kind of signs that's messed up. Do y'all point that out? When these same Capricorn stuff be ratchet and ghetto and cheaters. Like, why y'all don't call out the neck? Why every time somebody mentions signs, it's something that's supposed to make them good or better? But why y'all don't call out the negative stuff of all the stuff that these signs do? These Cancers and Capricorns who be ratchet cheaters and just bad people. Why y'all call it the negative aspects of the signs? I don't believe in none of that. People are people. You learn better, you do better, you won't. And that's just what it is. A lot of these people are very selfish. Bottom line. Y'all don't know what to do with good men. And she's using it as using a financial aspect of it. She on the fence because he's probably a good guy. And she don't want to really give him the chance because Pookies don't need all these chances. You just like him, so you don't have to do much. You could have all the Airbnbs in the world. Pookie ain't got a place to stay. You'll put him in one of them Airbnbs and let him stay there. He ain't got to bring you no money or do shit. So come on, it's not about that. It's about who you're attracted to. She made it very clear she's not attracted to the guy. She's not in love with him. She don't see him in that way. So she needs to leave him alone. Period. There's nothing else to discuss. He shouldn't be doing anything but moving on. That's what he should be doing because she don't really want him for real. As long as she don't want him, she's going to treat him horribly. She's going to disrespect him and she's going to make it known. And he's just going to be miserable in that situation. So it would be best for her he needs to hear this and move on. Hopefully he's moved on. Let's continue, y'all.
That's going to get old for you. I don't believe that. I think you're going to be like, why are you starting an Airbnb? Are you working on I think it's going to go that direction.
okay.
Yeah.
The reason some people said I had said older women, and I only said older women because I was trying to see if somebody had regrets, like what they experienced, they loved somebody and they was like, well, he's not like the best. I'm not in love, but he's a good man. So they stayed and they probably fell back in love. So that's why I only said like older women. It wasn't like to insult nobody or anything. I want to get older. I don't want to get.
Yeah, but if your love is contingent upon how much money he makes, that's not love, in my opinion. If you fell out of love with him because he didn't make a certain amount of money and he didn't measure up financially, then that ain't love, baby. If your love is conditioned upon his money, that ain't love. And now I know we all want a provider. You want a man who can provide, but just understand, that's why I say too, if a man falls short financially, if he loses his job and he has to give and you walk out, then you never loved him. In my opinion, love shouldn't be based on the amount of money that you make. So if your love is based on the amount of money he makes or the lack thereof, then that ain't love. And it's clear because she said it. She's not in love with him. So you fall out of love with him when he falls short in the money. If you make money, why can't you balance that out and hold him down till he get back on his feet? See? But you hold Pookie down. Pookie ain't made no money. Pookie wasn't trying to do shit. Pookie just sat back and, laid the D on you and you was cool with that. That was the payment. The D was payment enough. He didn't have to do nothing. And you would be ready to take care of him and hold him down till he decided to get it right, but he never decided to get it right. So now you want this good guy who is trying to, you got to call in and try to figure out whether you should be with him or not and whether you would regret. No, let him go because you don't want him. You don't want him. And once again, love is not conditioned It's not a conditional thing based on how much money he makes. Either you love him or you don't. Whether he's up or down, your love should still be there. Say they don't love that man. She said it. Come on now. Let's continue.
Get older.
So I will tell you a story. I don't really speak much about things, but I was with someone in my early 20s, and he was a great guy. He did all of the things. He was actually a Capricorn too, just like me. Really great, amazing guy, like you're describing. But he wasn't fully there because he was still building. He was so young. He's 24, 25. So he can't necessarily provide all the things. So we decided to end a relationship, not because we were fighting or we didn't get along, but simply because we needed to grow outside of being with each other. And now he's like a multi-millionaire. He's really big in the entertainment industry. He's doing well for himself. And, you know, he's reached back out and said things, you know, he's doing his thing. I will say that. So I say all of that to say that sometimes you have to let it go, because a man has to be a man and learn to be a man without you in the picture.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
what
can't
I'm
mother
starting to see.
him, you can't mentor him, you can't do that, you can't help him through that process of being a man. So you kind of have to let him go
to grow. And that's what I feel like. I'm starting to realize that men have like a period where they like in a stage where they are growing, and you really shouldn't date them at that stage because it's like their potential stage, and whatever woman is with them usually is not going to be the woman they probably end up with. You're just in that middle stage with them, and I don't want to be in that middle stage where you just don't know what you want to do. I'm like, can you take a certification class? Can you start doing this? And it's just like, it's just not giving like leadership energy. I just want you to say like a plan for something. I just want to hear that, like some type of evolving, some type of growth.
But maybe that's just not in him, Rose. Maybe that's just not. Every man is not ambitious. Every man doesn't have that fire or desire in them.
And it's not for you to determine or dictate. See, you're not a man. So women can't force a man to do what they think he should be doing. He has to figure that out. And if you're pushing him and trying to force him to do something that you think he should be doing, it's never going to work. He needs to figure out what he needs to do as a man, how he needs to go about it. He don't need you telling him and making him do something that he doesn't want to do. So either you learn who he is, what's his goals and ambitions, and let him figure that out. Women can't be men, so y'all can't understand what men go through psychologically, physically, and any other way. Y'all got to let men be men. And if you're there, he's a good guy and he's working on some things, you got to let him go through that process. And if you don't have the patience or the love enough to be there with him while he go through it, then you need to leave him alone. Once again, let him go. Let him go. Because women think because they're doing X, Y, Z that the man should be right with them, chasing and right there with them. You got Airbnb, so he's supposed to have Airbnbs, or he's supposed to have something equivalent. He got to be right there. No. You know, so I just think, yeah, let him go. He's not the one for her. He's not the one for her at all. Let him go.
So maybe he's just not built like that right now.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what
like
that's
not in him, is what I'm trying to say.
And that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's something to do with us growing up, because he has both of his parents. They've been married. They live in a house and he can live with them. He has a whole knit family and don't have to go nowhere, don't have to do anything. And then I don't have no family. So it's kind of probably like why I'm in like survival mode and making money and hustling. And he probably just feels like I don't have to move this fast. I could just figure it out. And so maybe we probably need to just split on that basis where it's like we're not compatible when it comes to our growth aspects.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, because he comes from, and I figured that he's a good guy. He comes from parents where, you know, he has a solid background and she doesn't. So when you come from an unstable background, you tend to think like that. Oh, you got to do stuff fast. You got to rush it because you all you got. You all you got. But he comes from a stable family where his family has his back, so he don't have to be pushed to rush to do these things. And so it makes sense. It makes sense. So he's probably a good guy. He's gonna grow and mature in the ways that he needs to grow and mature. He's gonna get it together, sort of like Ashley said about the guy she was dating. So I guess even women at 25 want men to rush and do all these things and not understand it takes time. So it sounds like she fumbled the bag too. You fumbled a guy who turned out to be really good, but you couldn't understand it when y'all were young together. You know, as a 25-year-old, you ain't got it all together. So why should he? But y'all, a lot of these women don't want to. This is how they miss out. This is how you miss out in your 20s and you end up 40 and you by yourself. As opposed to realizing what you have then, y'all build, grow together, and boom, you reap the rewards later on. But nobody wants to do that anymore. So a lot of these women end up by themselves, struggling to find solid, stable relationships. And this is where we are now, 2025, and we'll be 2035, and women will still be complaining about ain't no good men out here. Y'all had good men, but you didn't take them for who they were and what they were. And now you're out here still complaining by yourself because a lot of these men don't want to deal with you now. You're entitled, older, fatter, got all these children, and these men don't want that. So it's like you're shooting yourself in the foot, for real. Y'all are doing it to yourselves. Elam, thank you so much for the super chat. Says that woman is evil to the core, and Ash is sitting up there giving the wrong advice. Saying that men need to grow without his girl is crazy. 27 is old for a woman and not for a man. 90% of the eggs are gone when women turn 30. Thank you once again, Elam. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much for being here. You know, but they realize it, you know, they realize it real quick. You know, and all, you know, it's just like the money and all this stuff is clouding their judgment. That's all they see. Money is important and all of that, but this is why you should grow with the person. And these women are getting older and more entitled because they got jobs and they went to school, and they're gonna miss out. They're gonna miss out. Thank you once again, Elam. I appreciate you. Yeah, so it's unfortunate, but this is the world that we live in. This lady, first of all, I don't care about his money, his status, and all that. She clearly says she's not in love with him, so she don't want him for real. She don't want him. He's not her type, but she knows he's a good guy, and she don't want to like build with him. She don't want to wait for him to get it together, and they're both the same age, and so she wants him to be a workhorse and prove that he can do better than her, to take on everything. And that's not how it's supposed to be. If you care about somebody, you would be willing to work with them and y'all build together. But a lot of these women aren't trying to do that. They're holding on, wait for him to build up, and so he can just take on everything when y'all should be doing it together. If you are successful on one hand, why not work together? He seems like he's trying, says he's trying to do what she wants. It's just not moving fast enough for her. And that's a problem. So I'm like, okay, leave him alone, because he gonna blossom. He gonna grow. He's gonna get to where he needs to be, and he gonna find him a wife and who appreciates him, and they can be together. And she gonna still, on the other hand, be looking for a man that's gonna take her seriously and really care about him the way he seems to care about her. That's just how they miss out, y'all. And it's unfortunate because it's like you could give a whole lot of advice to these women, but if they don't want to hear it and if they think they have the answers, okay, what can you do? You can't force them to listen. You can't force them to see what you see. They got to go through it themselves. And that's what's happening now. They're going through it themselves, and they still don't like the outcomes. So it is what it is. Either you can listen, change your mentality, try a different way, a proven way that has worked in the past, by the way. Working together has proven to work. Other cultures of people do it every single day. Even though they try to push this narrative that, oh, other cultures, them men work together. These women work in Indian, Asian, white culture. They all work. So within the Black community, they sitting here thinking that they could be ghetto and independent, and the man's supposed to come and pay all the bills. They do nothing. Even though they work, they're supposed to keep their money. That's some bullshit. That don't work like that. And that's a misconception of what marriage and relationships are about. This is why they're by themselves. They don't understand the concept of marriage and relationships and working together. So this is why they have to be by themselves. That's just what it is. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, you guys. Listen, thank y'all once again for being here. I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel the way you do. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Continue to support the channel in any way that you can, you guys. That definitely helps to keep me going and keep this channel afloat. Also continue to watch the videos that are posted on the channel. Go over and hit the like button on them. Share them if you can. Go ahead and watch those videos so we can get the numbers up on the videos already posted on the channel, y'all. Make sure y'all are doing that. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos or go live. I will try to be back tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday. So hopefully I'm back tomorrow. So make sure you guys are tuned in. 1:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be back tomorrow. so we can, talk some more about the ratchicity of the dating world. Make sure you go and support and get your ratchicity t-shirt. The link is pinned at the top of the chat, you guys, and support in that way. Let me know if you get a shirt. Definitely support in that way. All right. Thank y'all once again to everybody in the building, everybody in the chat, everybody who gave their 2 cents, everybody who made me laugh. I appreciate y'all for that. Everybody who gave super chats and cash apps, thank y'all once again for the support. I really, really appreciate you guys. You have no idea. Make sure you tune in on tomorrow, you guys. Stay tuned for more. Watch the videos posted on the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, y'all be safe out here in these streets, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love y'all. Mwah. I'll see you later. Bye.